107.5 Spoon FM. Very shortly is the and so very shortly is the program Spoon Talk. Rastafari, Kiribaba, 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 Kiribaba. What I want? This one you back today. School TV. This one you back today. School TV. School TV. Skiddy dabado. School TV. School entertainment. From the CEO, stand on with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the South Band. Charges on the beat. On the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. The children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moreover, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. To spoon. To spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland, to spoon. This is Spoon FM 107.5, your biggest platform in the Republic of Liberia. It doesn't matter where you are. Welcome to the program Spoon Talk. Good evening, Jeans.
Good evening, Baron.
How are you coming on?
Come on me, Papa.
Dada Richardson?
Yeah, how are you, Byron?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
Good. Hi, good day. Hi, Tamalin. How are you guys doing today?
There God, thank you.
That's a good thing. So how's everything going on in terms of the city of Monrovia?
Well, the city is okay. The country is okay, and we are just moving. Chief George, how are you coming on?
Tamalin. Oh, Tamalin.
He's on the phone. He's on the phone.
Okay.
He's on the phone. Yeah.
Okay. So we want to welcome all of our guests today. But before we go into just recognizing you specifically, we'll just get some briefing from Chairman Byron and also good day about what is going on in Liberia so we can all be on the same page in terms of the state of our country. So any news that you guys would like to share with us?
Well, we have so many trending news in the country. So today,
Mm-hmm.
the U.S. government warned its citizens contemplating air travel to Liberia or at the RIA, which is Liberia's only international airport, um, about safety travel
Mm-hmm.
and warning its citizens to be very much mindful about the international airport. And it is making rounds on the social media institutions in the country are also running with this, and that's one of the trending news in the country. And Senator Prince Johnson, the latest revelation that he made today about his life at risk is also trending.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another issue at the free port of Monrovia.
Mm-hmm.
Only one newspaper reported that story,
Mm-hmm.
the Independent newspaper, where it reported that the DEA has impounded a container of 175 or 79 package unprocessed cocaine. And I'm told, I was informed before coming on this show that it was confiscated by the DEA at the free port of Monrovia today.
Mm-hmm.
The government of Liberia is yet to release an information about what happened, but a major newspaper in our country reported that identical story today. It comes barely after a few months when the government of Liberia announced that it confiscated, a huge consignment of marijuana or
Mm-hmm.
cocaine at the
Mm-hmm.
free port of Monrovia. So last night, I'm told that another consignment was confiscated by the government of Liberia. And the government of Liberia is yet to make that identical announcement. You
Wow.
know, yes. So it is a trending issue.
Mm-hmm.
Spoon
Yes.
FM TV
Mm-hmm.
is the first media institution, aside from the newspaper that reported this story. Spoon FM and TV is the first news institution or organization that is reporting this identical story
Yeah.
about another cocaine, story at the free port of Monrovia.
Yeah. That is very concerning.
Mhm.
Very, very concerning. Thank you for providing that information to us. Good day. Do you have anything else to add to what uh, Chairman Byron just said? He talked about the recent travel ban reportedly that is out there by the American government. And also, he spoke about the influx of drugs into Liberia recently. As close as today, they found a container of drugs. So, do you have anything else that you wanted to add?
Yep. The CDC had a news conference today
Mm-hmm.
regarding Saturday's event, and they said everything is on course. Everything is on course, and they are going to lock Monrovia down. And they said 1 million people will assemble at the Samuel. I'm sorry, the ATS, and I'm still thinking how that is going to happen because the ATS is less than even 20,000 capacity, is around 10 to 15. But they said they're going to manage to pull 1 million people to fill that place uh, to endorse or to petition President Weah for his second round bid. And like you're going to be talking about tonight, Senator Prince Wyatt Johnson came up with a very huge accusation, and we listened to even the former president before confirming what PYJ said, because in 2019 or in previous years, we heard President Weah talking about taking over a broken economy. On Monday, he said that again, that he took over a broken economy. So PYJ, Senator PYJ is now challenging the government of Liberia to publish the
Mm-hmm.
turnover note in order to prove that he's lying.
Mm-hmm.
So he said the government should publish that turnover note, and he said yes, he met with the former president before, and she said to him that yes, this is why I left there, and he said he saw it. It's confirmed. So we hope the government now will come out to publish that. And he also responded to the information ministry. Yesterday, the information ministry called on PYJ to provide evidence into the comment he made regarding the EPS officer who allegedly got murdered or committed suicide. The government said it did not say that he committed suicide, and PYJ should come up with the information regarding those people who he claimed that the government killed. And he said he did not say the government killed him, but he explained what happened and saying how can people believe those information that came out. And his party, at the end of his news conference, his party called for a major news conference where they address the media, claiming that the government has a plot or is plotting to assassinate their political leader, which is the center stage for tonight's conversation. So far, those were the major updates. And today at the Liberian Senate, there was this hearing where the public works minister and her team were invited to, brief the Senate on updates regarding the roads, road connectivity in Liberia. Every year, there's this money road fund that is intended to update to take care of our roads in the country. So today they called them to give update on the project, but surprising to a majority of the senators, the Public Works Ministry were talking about roads that they worked on or money was provided for back in 2019. Specifically, Bone County Senator Prince Moi said there is a road in his county that was talked about in 2019 and money was allocated for it. He's surprised again to see that road appearing in 2023 where they're talking about continuation of the process. So he asks, why should that happen when we provided money for these roads in previous budget and you coming up? So they were not able to provide the information the Senate wanted from them. They wanted them to provide a comprehensive report on road connectivity, feeder roads and major highways. So that ended with the Senate sending them back to the administrators to come back next Thursday with a full comprehensive report on road connectivity, why they should be funded again or why the road fund should be spent on those roads. Specifically, Senator Dillon talked about them. He talked to them rather. He said, we are not talking about Omega Road, community roads. We're talking about the highways, those places that we need to talk about. What have you done? The Banga, how you call it, the Banga Salaye Road and so forth. So we hope that next Thursday they're going to come back. So that is what happened. And Minister Tua was expected also to appear today before the Liberian Senate, but they did not appear. And they were also expected to appear, but they did not come out, and we hope they will be back next week. So those were some of the major stories that happened today in Liberia.
So Dr. Richardson cannot come in front of it.
Yes, come in.
For the last trending news for my end, I was shocked to have heard that over the weekend, a male, a 45-year-old man in Nima County, he reportedly spilled raw acid on the private part of his fiancée, his wife or girlfriend in Nima County on the basis that the woman allegedly refused, to have sexual intercourse with him. It's one of the trending issues. So I just want to share this with the public as well.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Byron, and Good Day for sharing and updating Liberian people of the current events that are going on in our country. I want to welcome St. Tomalin Naulu George to the program. I also want to welcome Kef to the program. This is your show. I want to welcome you. We know that we have Senator Prince Johnson coming on today. He's going to be our guest for the day. He's going to elaborate on some of what you heard Good Day tell us today. But I just want to, and I want both you and Chairman Byron and Good Day to stay on. Let me just review for people who are just joining us some of the things that you spoke to us, the trending issues. We know that there was a travel ban put on, well, not travel ban. The U.S. Embassy is alerting people that are traveling to Liberia to be very mindful that the Liberian government failed several audits. Okay, they usually go through the airport and they do audits on airport safety, security, operational standards, and they are saying that Liberians or other nationalities who would like to travel to Liberia should be very mindful that the Liberian government did not pass those standards that are left for operating the airport, for security, and also some financial standards that they had. And they're asking people to make sure that you stay up to date with your travel plans. There's a lot of people, nationalities, a lot of Liberians that go back to Liberia. Just make sure that you stay up with your travel plans, have contingency plan, and maybe you have to stay in another country before entering Liberia. Just be up to date and aware as to what would be happening to your travel plans because of the notification that came out by the embassy of the United States. We have an issue again. I think this is consistent with the security issue in the country. Byron, in review, said that there was a container of 79 package of unprocessed cocaine that came in the country. And just in the past couple of weeks, we know cocaine came in the country. In the past couple of weeks, we also know that it was guns that came in the country. So this kind of is confirming some of the concerns of the United States Embassy relating to not only our airport, but our ports. Lastly, we know that CDC, as Jane Kude said, if you're just joining us, is on course to having their convention coming up. And they are expecting to have 1 million persons at the ATS. This is going to be interesting. Hopefully we'll have an opportunity to talk about it a little bit. And this section, gender-based violence, is also an issue. Just last week, we heard that a man violated his wife, and we are hearing it again. That one last we heard was in Bond County. This one was in where again, Bar?
What county? Nima County.
So these are some concerning issues that are happening. If you're just joining us, I just want to just let you know what's going on. Good to talk about the road connectivity. I want to say bravo to the legislators for calling the public work minister and her lieutenants in to ask them questions about road connectivity in Liberia. There was some pricing findings in terms of them talking about roads that were built according to James 2019, as opposed to the recent roads in the country and the recent money that they were given to. I find it interesting when we had a guest on the show not long ago who announced that road connectivity was one of the improvements made by this government. And here we are again talking about road connectivity. So I'm happy that the legislature sent them to get more engineering specification and more financial appropriation for these roads that don't come with documentation. And so we can say kudos to Senator Dillon, apparently, who was asking many questions. Yeah, so I want to ask you guys before we welcome our guests and take a minute that I think we're going to be calling Senator Johnson in, and the order of the show is going to be he's going to come in, he's going to give us an intro, and we're going to have an opportunity to ask him questions today. This is his time, his show, so he's going to be the one asking questions. But before we welcome our guests, I'd just like to ask you, Sintamalin, any thoughts on what you heard today? You want to do your intro for the show? Kev going to do his intro as we get Senator Prince Johnson on the line, and for him to come on, we'll be welcoming our guests. So, what are you guys thinking for the day? How are you doing?
Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. It's good to be back. Kev, Dr. Richardson, I hope you guys are doing well at your end. Concerning the trending news, I know earlier today I spoke with the leader of the MGR, and the issue about the release on him about something involving him, a police guy. He dismissed it. He says it's untrue, Mr. Senator Kuhn.
Mm-hmm.
He says it's not true. It's just propaganda. He says it's not true at all. There's no truth in that. And he says he considers that rubbish. It's true that also I watched part of the press conference held by the ruling CDC today, and they are getting high gear for the program on Saturday. See, building momentum is building across the city, and I see banners of President Weah and the Vice President being posted all across the city, and that's in election mode. As I always said, the president is he's an incumbent and seeking re-election. He has the bullet puppet. He got everything at his advantage, and he's gonna come. They're preparing to start the process very strong on Saturday to send a statement and a message to the opposition and to all Liberians that they are ready to receive another mandate. So, and then I also issue about Senator Johnson. Yes, I listened to his press conference today. He challenged the government of President Weah to produce the 10-1 note that they received from President Salif, because he's saying that President Salif left $150 billion in the account, and that the president and his government should and President Salif have come up to dismiss that she did leave money there. Come up and produce the note. And he was asked that, I think he made a demand that if the note is produced, he will support the government, something like that. But he demanded that the note is produced, and he's contingent upon his support to the presidential election or so. So I don't know how the government will respond to it, whether they will take his challenge or so. I don't know. Maybe they will respond to it at an appropriate date. And then he also is accusing the government. He's making some accusation about someone trying to assassinate him. He came in the show. He's speaking from his house.
Mm-hmm.
He will tell us who's trying to assassinate him and what is evidence he got trying to assassinate. We're asking all these questions. So we look forward to having an interesting show. So let's rock and roll.
Yes. Thank you for being here, Tomalin. Kev Hassan, your opening thoughts, and then we'll transition a little bit to welcome our members. But let's just hear what you have to say today.
Hi to everybody. First of all, I just want to say, you talk about the alert by the U.S. Embassy, but the U.S. Embassy also said that it's a lot of works going on by they're aware that a lot of works going on by the Civil Aviation Authority began steps to address some of the shortcomings they talk about in the recent months. So some of those things they're talking about, they're already addressing them. So it's within that press release that they recognize that they're addressing some of the thing they're talking about, some of the security concern, the shortcoming. So I think it's a press release that informed the public that the Liberian government is working on it. So I think it's the Liberian people need to know about it, and also, we're listening to Prince Johnson with his allegation. So that's all I have to say until Prince Johnson come on, and let's listen to his allegation.
Okay. All right. Mr. Fagon, I'd like to welcome you to the show. Do you have any opening thoughts before we go to welcoming our guests and then also bringing in Senator Johnson in? I also read to the Liberian people the press statement that came out of the embassy so that they can know exactly what the press statement says without any filtering. So any thoughts, Minister Fagon?
Yeah, I have a press statement here from the TRH Trading Corporation,
Yes.
Jamaica Road Junction. You guys discussed that already?
Is that the one about the drugs?
Yes.
Yes, you feel free to talk about it. We didn't talk about it in details, but you can, if that's
we're going into detail. I don't want to spoil the taste of the program because, again, I like to first of all strongly condemn the government in the strongest possible term. And the reason why I say I condemn the government in the strongest possible term is because barely weeks ago, if you like, just make it fine by saying months, you and I sat on this program and heard about $100 million worth of drugs that entered the country through the same port and the same handlers and owners and companies and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And when the president was speaking on Monday, just about that time, this drug bust occurred.
Mm-hmm.
And for them to wait until Thursday night to let the TRH Trading Corporation, now listen to this, it wasn't the government, it's not the government though. Remember, it's our government that is supposed to inform us. It's a right, we have a right to information. But it's the company telling us, oh, you know, we alerted the authorities to this because the government is so ashamed of herself. But this has nothing to do with shame. Monday, nothing. Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday, nothing. Look at the drugs. From $100 million to about $40 million worth. In no space of a time, our children are dying, and our government cannot even muster the courage to tell us this thing happened. So I like to condemn the government in the strongest possible term for withholding information from the public on a very sensitive issue that has the potential to not only derail our peace, destroy our children, and cripple our country.
Yes.
And the second thing I want to talk about while waiting Honorable Prince Johnson is this. This government, I've always said that we inherited a broke government. Of course, that was something I often said. I'll be the first to admit.
Minister, can you hold that thought? Because I think it's in a line with what Mr. Johnson, Senator Johnson is going to say.
Okay, then let me come to the other issue quickly, in less than 1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
You know, thank God Senator Prince Johnson is coming on. Senator Prince Johnson was sanctioned for, and I'm quoting, pay to play.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there was no investigation, there's no court proceeding, we believe the United States. And lately we saw an attempt to induce some kind of pay to play, bringing in
Dr. Richardson cannot come in.
Senator Prince Johnson.
Give me 1 second, Mr. Byron, because Mr. Falcon was speaking.
Yeah,
so
we have Senator Prince Johnson on the line.
Okay, thank you.
Senator Prince Johnson rejected it and exposed them when they took him up to the mansion and stuff. He didn't say they offer him pay to play, but we all know what they tried to do, and he even named and shamed them. And so to understand that the 11th hour, we are not getting reports that Alex Tyler, James Barney, Richard Devine, and others are running away from signing because the United States government will be interested in knowing what led them to sign, why they signed at the 11th hour, what's within the agreement. So they're running away because that's what we're getting. And if that is the case, it's shameful and condemnable.
Yes. So I want to just thank all of you panelists for providing information to the Liberian people. That's why we're here, to provide information. I would like you to take the opportunity to integrate some of your comments into the questions that you're going to have for Senator Prince Johnson. So we're going to go straight into the senator since we don't want to keep him waiting. He's going to be coming to us by way of telephone. And we are going to give him the opportunity to introduce himself, what's going on with him, bring us up to date, and then we'll take turn. Everybody take a turn, 2 minutes to ask questions, okay? So, Chairman Byron, can you bring the senator in by telephone for us, please?
Senator Prince Johnson, good evening.
I didn't
Senator
hear you.
Johnson. Senator Prince Johnson, good evening.
Oh, yeah, he's very low. Is it possible to make him a little louder? I did hear him a little just.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Perfect, perfect. Senator Johnson, thank you for joining Spoon. We are happy to have you again. You are no stranger to our show. I want you to please at this moment just give us an update about what is happening to you. I saw the press conference, but can you just give us a summary of the press conference, some current events that are happening to you?
Well, it's always a blessed thing for me to speak to our people in the diaspora and in Liberia via your media. You know, the CDC and I signed an agreement 2017 October and ended 2022 October. There is no document any longer banning us. However, they have been appealing to us to support them. We said, no, we have a candidate. And they are desperate for support. They are truly desperate. And because they feel that we are standing in their way, they cannot get member support. They may be the loser. So there are a lot of threats too coming against us. Especially when I preach on Sunday on the theme, what you want may not be what you need. I was talking about Saul. The people of Israel were ruled by judges, and Samuel was the last judge and high priest, but they didn't like the idea. They went to Samuel, look, we want a king, the other nations around us. So Samuel went to God in prayer, and God said, look, if that's what they want, it's not you they are rejecting, it's me they are rejecting. So let them have it. They told Saul, and we know what they did to Israel. So I was speaking that no footballer ever became president of any country that I know of. King Pelé, the greatest of all, became minister of sports. So I was giving my analysis. And then after that, I talk about the incident in Tapeta. I think you heard about that.
Yes.
The incident on Broad Street. I was giving my security view because I'm a well-trained security guard. And then this morning, I got a press conference at my office to critique the annual message, the other political leaders. Since 2018, Mr. Weah took power. He had always said empty coffer, empty coffer, empty coffer, empty coffer, broken economy. At one point in time, Madam Salih was abroad, she heard it, and she spoke on VOA and said, look, I left so much money. If you are tampered with the people's money, don't bring it to me. I know about that because just before Ellen could leave power, she declared a moratorium on all government expenses, those expenditures. No ministry was allowed to spend a cent. She was looking for money to leave behind for the new government. And so, you know, Ellen is our mother. Ellen is our mother. We started the revolution together. I had direct access to her house, says Jimmy, my big sister. So I was able to see somewhere the copy of that 10-over note. And in that 10-over note, what caught my eyes directly was the amount of 150 million United States dollars. That's what caught my eye. So I said, but can I get a copy? He said, no, I'm not your leader anymore. But the Senate can subpoena your current leader, and then he will give the copy because that's a public document. And you know, we pass the Information Act into law, making such document public. So I got to the Senate, I wrote a Liberian Senate to subpoena, to request the president to send a copy of the 10-over note. She said she left money. He said no. What will prove the whole case is the 10-over note. So this last annual message, he repeated and said there was nothing in the coffer, it was empty. So I took it from that line to say, well, Mr. President, you want a new mandate. You will go from village to village from time to time. That's good for him. But what did he inherit? What did he inherit from the outgoing government of Madam Salif? What were the properties that belonged to Liberian people that he inherited? Because I saw 1 million plus 150 million. 150 million. If he disputes what I'm saying, then let him publish the turnover note, because it's in there, signed by him, receiving it from Ellen, and Ellen too on signature there. And that's why we had today. From there, we went to the party headquarters because our party had been infiltrated by the CDC. And though we already observed carrying up anti-party activities, we were having a meeting to see what the party would do against them. Then I received a call from a very credible person from higher up and told me, don't take for granted what I'm saying to you. These people are desperate. They will not forget you and Kun, but you especially, they got 2 plots. One to assassinate you, but you are a hard target. You don't go all after 5. You don't go to all places. You don't go to club. You don't go, you got no friend. So they want to apply the plan B. Get people together, lie on you that you committed this crime against so and so person, and then they will bring false witnesses and they will carry out what they call perjury, false witnesses, and they will put you in jail and leave you there and drag the case until after election. The first law of nature, being self-preservation, I had to call VOA, I had to call you, and I called Magay. I said, Magay, this is a plot you're making? Don't want to kill me? He said, why are they killing? I said, because when you came to my house, you said to me, when we put Kennedy on President Weir as a wall. He said, that's not what I meant. I mean, when you put Kennedy on Weir, like Mr. Kun, we too will put Kennedy on you. I said, but then you got your own interpretation of what your statement was. But to me, war is war. So that's what happened.
Wow. Thank you so much, Senator Johnson, for coming here today to explain your experience today. There's 3 areas that Senator Johnson touched on. He talked about his agreement, CDC agreement with MTR. He talked about his security concerns. And then he also finally talked about there's 4 areas, the $150 million that was reportedly left in the coffer. And lastly, the threat. So we're going to have an opportunity, Senator Johnson, to ask you questions. Everybody's going to have an opportunity to ask you 2 questions. And then, please feel free to talk. Please limit your time to when you ask Senator Johnson his questions. So we'll start with you, Sintamali George.
Good evening, Senator Johnson, the leader of the governing leader of the governing council of the MDR, and Senator of
Good evening, sir.
Senator Johnson, you what you just said, you're making it's a breaking news, it's a startling revelation to the people of Liberia and the world that you have been targeted for assassination. Could you further elaborate on the because you are a security man, I know that. But can you give some further clarification or elaborate more on the threats to your life?
Well, as a security expert, I cannot burn my informer. But I was told exactly what I just explained, because those who are doing this are desperate to ensure that Nima falls to them. And with me not agreeing to all the appeals they've been making, I'm a serious threat to their future, their election. And the only thing they can do is exactly what my informer from the very executive manager told me. So we have to blow the alarm. It's a preemptive strike, so if the information is true, good. They're already being exposed. If what is they're trying to do, if not true, they will never attempt that. But the information is true because the person is so credible. I say credible. Right under the feet of the power that be. The whole security sector reform was put together before he came in. So we got a lot of people who were there in our factions who are now with DEA, with police, with the army, with the EPS, and all over the places. So there is nothing that can be planned I do not know. More especially since we supported CDC since 2017 till now. I have not said that before. I have never said that. But it's scary when you threaten me like this. I cannot blame the person who told me, and he will never tell me anything again.
Okay.
There's a second question, please.
Yeah. President, we are considered a relative peaceful man. We have not seen him target a political opponent. To say he's targeted his political opponent. Except the record can show, but we have not seen really target his political opponent. So, do you think from your information, do you think the president is aware of this, or he's part of this?
That's why it's good to bring it out so you can know. The CDC is a big institution, and many of those boys are bad boys. Take, for example, in my whole life, I've never seen city police carry guns. They carry unauthorized pistols, rifles, on Jefferson Koji, who threaten people every day, threatening Louis Brown, threatening people all the time. They have no authority to carry guns. So in my mind, I think Jefferson Koji, who went to Nimba and said, I'm a fair politician and threatening me there, I think he wants to be a replacement of Komatele, the death squad commander on Ondo. And President Weah knows he took oath on the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. He knows that there are certain institutions that should not be bearing arms. Why is the police carrying arms? He's not talking about it. That's why that should concern you. The city police under Jefferson Koji are carrying unauthorized weapons.
Yes, thank you, Tomalin. If you're just joining us, we have Senator Prince Johnson on the phone. He is telling us that he underwent a threat today in Liberia. He's blown the alarm. He's contacted media institutions to preempt, let the world know that what he is going through with this threat. I'm going to go over to Kev Hassan now to ask his two questions.
Senator Prince Johnson.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, with history behind you, with some allegation of who killing or who people made allegation against you that you killed people, and now you're saying that some
Kalasan, that was a civil war. If you don't kill, they kill you. That's what they call civil war. This is a democratic dispensation where the people are desperate for the second largest country in Liberia, that when you stand behind you, you're the winner. And I've been a father of the country and political leader. That's what's happening. I'm telling the truth.
Let me say this to you. You deny the killing of the Tecumseh Rabble, but there's an allegation on you that you killed.
Let me say to you again. Correction. I have documentations written by journalists who were on the scene when I was at the war front. It is General Vanning who killed the Tecumseh Rebels. All the documents are with me for future records. I did not kill the Tecumseh Rebel. He was my good friend. I met the Tecumseh Rebel, I think, on Benson Street, and he was looking so limp. Come to me and join me. And he was with me on the bed. We used to sing. I loved him dearly. But when I went to the war front, Vanning met with him and said that he was leaking blood from the butt. And Vanning shot him. When I came back, I could have dealt with Vanning. But then we cannot be fighting Taylor and fighting Doe there at the cinema unit split. That's the only reason I spared General Vanning. But he killed the Tecumseh Rebels, not me. There are records to show I got it here. I got a special archive. I keep the records.
Okay.
To me. I come in. The Tecumseh Rebels sunk into me. And so that you heard that I killed the father. And I said, come in. And I took the voluminous book, even the one written by Jean Ubuti, Liberia in Terror. I showed to him. Jean Ubuti was there on the scene. All the conversations between the Tecumseh Rebels and General Vanning were all written there. And then the council said, why are you threatening to kill me? When Senator Johnson, General Johnson come, I will tell him. Then Vanning said to hell with you, pow, you fired the man. I was not there. So it's not true.
But let me give you my point. You're saying it's not true. it was an allegation against you, and you're still saying it's not true. What you hear today,
It's not true. It's not true, Kev, because there are evidence to prove.
but
I'm not going to read the evidence.
Senator, can we just give Kev the opportunity to ask his question?
But Senator, you hear today making allegation against a certain government. If the allegation against you, you deny, which a lot of people know you as a warlord.
It's revolutionary. It's revolutionary, not warlord.
Yeah, but a lot of people, okay, a lot of people call
people were targeted for total elimination, and we had to fight in defense. You know that. You know there were times in Liberia when they were killing people, they're here one side, body one side. You know that. So we couldn't say some to be exterminated. We had to fight in defense. So don't go that route.
But that's what I'm trying to say. You say you are revolutionary. People call you warlord. People call you names. So what I'm saying, you're a victim of people calling you names. But now you calling the city government a name. You're putting assassination on. You're telling the city government they want to kill you. So if you deny from other people who say you killed, according to some TR family, some Tecumseh family who blame you today, you kill him, and now you blaming somebody. How can we believe you, but you don't want the other people to believe that you killed
Okay. So, Kev,
that's my first question they had.
Okay, so please allow the president to answer. I'm sorry, please allow the senator to answer the question. And then I hope that the second question will be very brief because we've got to move on, okay? Because it took some time.
You talk about allegations against me about Tecumseh Robert. I'm saying to you, Tecumseh Robert's son came here believing what people told him. And he saw the evidence that I did not do that. That's a different issue. I got evidence to show, documentary evidence to show. It's just that you are aware I'm here. This one year I'm saying to you, I've been offered a lot of incentives to make sure I support, because Nimba is the second largest county, and we are about 1.2 million over Liberia. Wherever Nimba behind Bon County vote, there were all our people vote. So they are desperate to get Nimba support to win. And once I am not in support and Senator Koo not in support, we are the problem now. And that's why I'm being threatened. I am being threatened. The call that I receive, if I call the person in, you know the person, because he's part of you in America. He's an internationalist. So it's not something for me to burn that person say, the person did this, or the person says so. No. I have to do the preemptive strike so they can know that we are aware. I even test Maggie sent to the president. I say, that is why you're planning, or any of you planning within CDC, don't bring trouble to this country. Now, Kwangba just brought trouble. Don't touch me, because I am objectively speaking on what happened in Tapeta, and what happened on Broad Street, and the 150 million. 150 million. You K. Hassan, you should be speaking for the people of Liberia. Not because they pay you $20,000 to plead for them in America. That's the people's money.
Okay. Senator, I'm working towards moving to our next panelist to ask the question. But I just want to remind the panelists here, we have themes that we're talking about here. We're talking about the CDC agreement that was signed and expired with the MDR. We're talking about security, the threat that was put on Senator Johnson's life. We're talking about the $1 million that was in the turn over. So let's focus our question, those issues and tie. Yes, $150 million. Yes, thank you. So, Kev, your final question, please, and then we're going to move on.
Yeah, my final question, let me make this clear. Senator Johnson, I'm not receiving $20,000 from the government. That information is wrong, totally wrong. It's not true. I just want to correct that for you. Yeah, let me ask you this. What is the difference between you talk about money, right? You talk about the president met. The president said he met a broke country, because what the president said, he met a broke country. He was not talking about the reserve. So what about the money that to operate the government, excluding the reserve? As a senator, do you have any idea how much the government met and the operation fund to actually run the government?
Well, okay, let me say this to you.
Mhm.
It's just a matter of honesty, fair play, transparency, to publish what you inherited. When a government is going and turn over property to you that belong to the people of Liberia, the first thing is to do audit and publish it. Do you people do that? You from CDC?
Yes,
Do you people
yes,
do that? You know,
yes, Senator. It was
the
550.
turn over note are two signatures, Ellen signature and Mr. West signature. Did you publish the turn over note in which there was 150 million?
The 150 million was for reserve. For
But that's what
reserve.
I'm saying. It was there. It was the reserve that they,
Yeah.
listen, Kev, when you say I took over from empty coffer,
Then that means go ahead.
empty coffer means nothing was left in the bank.
The
That's why it's
consolidated
simple.
account, consolidated account. That's what they're talking about. It was 514 million Liberian dollar and 7 million US dollar. And it take over what 30-something million dollars to run a government. 514 million LD, Senator, is about 7 million. It's about 7 million plus.
Thank you. I understand. Did you publish what you inherited before taking office? Did you publish what was turned over to you?
Yes, it was out there. Yes, sir, it was out there.
It was never published. That's a public document. It was never published.
So,
It was out there, Senator.
okay, so we're gonna move on. Thank you so much for the exchanges here that's happening. But you know, we are at the point where Senator Johnson is saying that the $150 million that he's talking about that was noted in the turnover note was never published. That's what he's saying. And Kev, you are saying it was published. Kev, is that what you're saying, that it was published?
What I'm saying is the amount that he's talking about, the $150 in the cover, and which is the reserve. Yes, and then the $514 million LD, which is about $7 million plus.
Okay.
Yes, the $7 million. The $7 million $14 million. So what I'm trying to say, it's up to $29 to $35 million to operate the government in monthly. So if the government met $14 million, it's what the president is saying. We met a broke country. So that's the math there.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
broke economy and empty coffer.
Yeah, Senator Johnson. Careful when we're doing our closing. Please elaborate on that analysis. We're going to go on to Minister Fagon. Do you have to please ask the senator your two questions, please?
Welcome, Senator Johnson. Good evening.
Good evening, Fagon. How are you?
Yeah, hang in there. They wait up my
host to backing your government because you're receiving money every month.
Hey, Senator.
Anyway, Senator Johnson.
Yes, sir.
You have a witness here because at that time I was the deputy spokesperson for the government. We did not at any point in time announce that we had 514 billion LD or 7 billion USD. I am a witness and I was the spokesperson. We said, and I'm going to quote what we continued to say that time, that we inherited a broke government, quote, and a bad economy. That's what we said. We did not get any figure or say anything like that. And I was the deputy spokesperson in charge of saying that. And I said it more than, I would say, 50 times. Now, my question to you is with regards to the agreement with the MDR. We all know the agreement has expired. We know that you were sanctioned for particularly and specifically pay to play. We know that there have been attempts to get you to pay to play. My question to you, can the Liberian people look at you squarely in the eyes with all of what you have said in recent time and say that this time around, the MDR will not sign an agreement with the coalition? Will you look the Liberian people in the eye and tell them promisingly that you will not sign an agreement with the CDC? Will you do that?
I'm a pastor. I will not lie. Never will I. I supported Mr. Weir on one simple ground. Being an internationalist, world best player, Africa, European, I had expected that there would be an influx of business entrepreneurs to Liberia to invest, to provide jobs for our university graduates and other citizens to get jobs, to put food on the table and alleviate their suffering. Unfortunately, the world figure is not being abandoned by the world. All major airlines, even as I speak to you today, America put up a release that our airport is not safe. Today. So there is nothing encouraging for me to start a new agreement with the CDC. That's why we put up a calendar to run. And that calendar is working with ANC, is working with all of the parties, UP, and all. But CDC, we cannot work with them because mysterious disappearances, strange deaths of people, unexplainable deaths, carbon monoxide, when it exhausts, were not tampered with. I cannot. And when you say somebody fired himself, those who did the investigation, they lie. Because you can't fire yourself 2 or 3 times in the head. One time you're gone. So I will not. Your question, no, I will not sign any new agreement. And the person they are threatening, whoever is threatening and the intelligence we receive, they are making a sad mistake. The reason we enjoy relative peace is because Ellen pursue it. But to preach one thing and do another thing clandestinely, you got some bad boys. There wasn't coaching them taking arms. They got people threatening them, following people. Every bad thing that happened in this country that Jefferson Koji. He is a replacement of Konotile. What we do? That was a nice man, but people spoil him. When you look at President Weir, he look quiet, he look cool, he look honorable. But you know, power is power. Don't trust people. With power can do anything. Especially when you're desperate for a second term and the country you need to support you to win is not on your side because somebody is there to trust and respect. That's a hell of a thing. So to answer your question, I will not go back to CDC.
Thank you.
Okay.
My second question.
Sorry.
My second question is simple. I know what a threat is. 2 days ago, I experienced a threat, and then the lady who takes care of the business was beaten, dragged, robbed, and an hour later, a truck was brought, and my entire wholesale place was emptied right in the faces of people. Mm-hmm. I know what a threat is. Now, my second question to you. You are a former field marshal, a former general, a military scientist, par excellence. How prepared are you for this threat? And will you take it laying down? And if this threat is made good upon, what will be your response?
Brother Pagon, I always talk to my wife. Whenever I leave my house, I leave it never to return. Because a politician is threatened every day. A politician, a true speaker, the one who speaks truth to power, who is fearless, who is bold and brave, he has a lot of enemies. So I always tell my wife, take care of the children. Take care of the children. Don't think about me. My love for the nation comes first. The nation first. If I die for speaking truth, God will bless me. You will bless my soul. You can kill the body, you cannot kill the soul, but God will punish those who try, and you will never make it. I went through bullets. Front line, fighting Doe, fighting Taylor. Bullet did not kill me. Now, peacetime, Jefferson Koyu Drew kill me. They're just looking for violence. And I'm so glad that America has warned those 6 countries in Africa going for election. Anyone that will cause election violence will be held accountable. So that's what we're looking up to, and America will watch this election keenly, and we are observing a lot of things that will come out in the future. Thank God we are in touch with you people. So I don't take the threat lightly. We are guarded, first thing by God. Any plan you make, give it to God. I am ordained. I am free. I am ransomed. I am redeemed. You cannot go if God still has a mission for me. No damn man can come in the country. I defy the CDC to ever trial me. I confronted them and told them, if they want trouble from Nima County, they must try with Nima citizen. I am not against them, so helping God. Never will I go against we. But as a matter of policy, our contract is over. When your passport is expired, you cannot travel. So I cannot renew. And if because you want Nimba and you are desperate for power, second term, what I'm asking you is make public what you took over from Ellen. The turnover note got everything inside. If you release that turnover note and that 150 million is not there, that you can do anything to me. That means I'm inciting people against the government. They will not publish it because they know. You know, Ellen's signature, he owned it. You will not turn it over. You know what they do with that money.
Okay, if you just joined us, our guest today is Senator Johnson. He did a press conference today. There were a few breaking news. One, he says that he is not going back to CDC. I'm going to ask my question now, followed by Peabody, who's going to ask 2 questions, and Ben, who's going to ask 2 questions. For the sake of time, I'm going to just ask 1 question to allow a good conversation to happen here. Senator Johnson, I watched the press conference today, and I had some thoughts. My first thought is you were a senator for the past 5 years or more, okay? Yes. I'm just talking about we as government now. Yes, exactly. You said to us that after the inauguration, there was a press conference, and after you heard that the president said there was no money in the coffer, you asked the president to audit Ellen Johnson.
Right.
Correct. Okay. So after you asked the president to audit President Ellen Johnson's government, it appears that never occurred. For the past 4 or 5 years that you've been working in this government or serving this government as senator, I am just wondering now, what is motivating you to ask this president to publish this turnover note that, according to you, has the discussion of President Ellen leaving $150 million in the coffer for George Weah, which you said in the press conference. She said, no, I left money there. Don't lie on me. I believe you said that. So what is motivating you now to come up to have this conversation with us?
Yeah, because every annual message is a repetition. I took over from an empty bank, empty coffer, broken economy, every annual message. And so he wants another mandate. Why is preparing me to do this? Because he wants a new mandate and still deny that there was nothing in the coffer. So I'm asking, you want second mandate? You will go from village to village, town to town. Yes, good for you. But what did you inherit, truthfully? say it to Liberian people by the publication of the turnover note. Because if you took oath and you're not faithful to the people in letting them know exactly what you inherited, then can they trust you second round, which is a goodbye time? Goodbye, Liberia. Goodbye, Liberia. Goodbye, Liberia. You never see me again. Eh? Tell the Liberian people what Ellen turned over to you.
So
And I
Senator,
think
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Senator. Finish up. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
150 million is not a small money. Our hospital, no drugs, a lot of things in a year. School, people sitting on the ground, public school benches broken, zinc rotting, and no textbooks, nothing, no computers, no public library. 150 million, not a small thing. For you to always come to get annual measure and say, I took over from broken economy, empty coffer, empty coffer. Then I say, you say empty coffer. Since 2018, you've been giving them one message, empty coffer, empty broken economy, and you want new mandate. If you need support of people, show them what you inherited. Be truthful to the oath you took. Be truthful to the constitution you took oath from. That's my point. That's it.
Okay. All right. We're gonna move on to Peabody. Peabody, could you please give your 2 questions to Senator Johnson, please?
Senator Reverend Prince Johnson. Let me ask you this question, Senator Reverend Johnson. Senator Johnson, what do you want? Why not stay with your church and make sure a lot of people are saved to become children of God? You have been there, you went there. Why not just stay with your church? One would ask at this time, what do you really want, Prince Reverend Johnson? Because you've been in the government 6 years. Give me a chance. You've been in the government 6 years. All the things you talk in 6 years, you did not say it. What do you want now, Reverend?
That everybody, why is the gospel being preached? Why? The gospel is preached to change these kind of things, to make people remain faithful and keep your promise. You preach the gospel for people to change, for people who are crooked to be straight, for people who are unfaithful to be faithful, who are untruthful to be truthful. That's why in 2 Timothy chapter 3, the Apostle Paul warned Timothy, be careful. In the last days, there will be perilous times. There will be truth breakers. Those who take oath on Constitution will break it. There will be people who will be lovers of themselves than the lover of God. There will be too many selfish people. Be bold. Speak with boldness. So I'm boldness to the power that be. As I to Ellie, I told Madam Sally, Harry Greaves entered Kennedy Hotel. They didn't come back. They did not arrest the people to try to investigate them. The man allegedly drowned from Kennedy Hotel down Shopping Way. Body was found to the mansion, Madam Sally office. That's a special flight. So we speak truth to power here. What do I want? I want the turnover note to be published. Okay. So we can know of that.
Okay.
And everybody, you know, when a government is taking over from the outgoing government, there is a transition, there is document or something they turn over to you that belong to the nation. You too should be preaching that this thing be published.
All right, you know, Reverend Johnson.
That's why I asked the 73 lawmakers from the lower house that are going for election, who represent the people. I asked the 15 senators going for election to join me in making a request for the publication or the turnover of this note to the Senate, to the legislature. Let us see. Because it's a public document. It's not a thing to be, it's not private document. If you know nothing what that, show it. If you know something what that was used, that's why you had to tell us.
Reverend, you're saying a very good point. You're making some very salient point here, Reverend Johnson. But look, Reverend Johnson, let me ask you. You were there 6 years. Why you didn't advocate like now how you are advocating that the $150 million be brought? Why you didn't do that, Reverend?
No, that everybody, you're right to ask questions, but you didn't listen when I was speaking earlier. I said the first annual message, he says so. That nothing was in the comfort, nothing was, it was broken economy. President spoke from overseas and said, don't lie on me. Immediately after that, I wrote a letter to the Liberian Senate Pro Tem Abache to bring it to the floor, to be debated, to ask the president for that thing over no, which is the people's property. It's our right to know. Abache took the letter, the sign for Agam and Kabe here, and the next day he called me and said, I cannot put this on the floor. I cannot. No problem already, demonstration. When you put it on a bomb, don't put on the floor. So I said, okay, I will keep it, I will speak. And the reason I'm speaking again, because he wants a new mandate. Now the people of Liberia, through us as their honorable men, want to know what you took, what you inherited. You are a lame dog government now this year. You're not sure you will come back. You are outgoing. You're not sure. And you come back, then God bless you. So we want to know what happened to the people money. Now, let me tell you another thing before I close. This government is owing NIMBA 7.5 million, 750 million. And the budget law that Mr. Weir signed, that the Pro Tem signed, that the Vice President signed, that the Speaker signed, that the clerk of the House of Reps signed, it says that when the money from the company, the Metal C, is remitted to the escrow account, it should go directly to the country account. Is that the case now? No. What they sign is different from what they're doing. And then in the new budget this year, you know what they put there? Only 1.5 million. So all the 7-something million they took is gone. So they should have transferred it into the new budget so it can be known that they're owing us. So that any government come, they will pay. But they only put 1.5 million. And I'm raising that issue with the Senate. You see? So they write something they sign, they don't do. They're not faithful to what they write. The oath they talk. It's simple. That the people, please help me. They'll call Mr. Weir too. It's not about the people of this country. Let them publish this 10 over note. That way they spare what Ellen say, or they despair what he say. But you will publish it because something will die. What happened to it?
Thank you, Reverend. Thank you, Reverend Senator. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna go over to Chairman Ben Savvy for his 2 questions, please.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you for coming on. I have a quick, a quick observation. Did you say that President Sirleaf showed you the turnover notes? Just a point of clarification.
I think I saw it somewhere.
Oh, you say you saw it somewhere. Okay, I just wanted to be sure because I was trying to inquire.
I saw it somewhere. Where I saw it, it was so credible, so guaranteed. That made me to write the Senate that they should summon or write the president to request the copy. And
okay, that's another further clarification because you also said that when you asked, say, can I have it? The person said, I'm no longer your leader. You now have a leader. Yeah. You can. So I was assuming that. Well, who was that person? Who said they were no longer the leader? Who was our leader?
The point that we stress here that you should be supporting.
No, Senator, please just answer my question. I just want to know something.
Let me let you know this.
Yeah.
That is not relevant here. What is relevant is there was a turnover note.
Senator, can I ask you the question and you answer? You don't have to tell me what's relevant. You made a statement.
If I wish to answer, I do. If I don't wish to, I don't.
Okay, Senator.
What is relevant? No, what is relevant is the publication of that document.
Yes, Senator, I know. I'm just asking you a question. You can answer or you can't answer. I just have to ask you the question. Again, I just needed some clarity on, like you said.
You got intelligence. You are well educated. Yeah. My statement shows exactly what I'm talking about. Then you ask me to cover my mouth.
No, I'm not. I'm because you. So, but when Senator.
No. Guys, order, please.
Somebody who tell over to who?
No, this is Ben. This is not Tommy. You got that Tommy can give you had on this show. So you. This is bad. The reason I asked it was because it raised a red flag when you said, when you said, can I have it? The person said, well, no, I can't give it to you because I'm no longer your leader. So I'm assuming the president said it.
Want me to talk?
Eh?
You want me to talk to Courtney?
No. I'm just asking because if you said the person said, I'm no longer your leader, I'm assuming the person who was president before George Ellen Johnson said it.
I think that a racist thing, the moderator knows what I'm saying. Who turned over to who? If somebody turned over to somebody and there was a paper prepared, and I said we all from the same revolutionary background, I saw it happen. I'm going to tell the person before you know.
Okay, so Ellen, they won't show it to you. Okay, we'll take care of that.
What are you doing in me? I don't know in me.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to get it. But let me ask you a question, Senator. Let me ask you a question. Let me go. I wanted to make it. I wanted to start the conversation like. But let me ask you a question. Are you challenging? Couple of things here. You are right. You signed an agreement with the CDC in October of 2017. That agreement have lapsed. You've been on the air, and I think your current political leader, Senator Coon, you guys have been going back and forth, and from what you were saying tonight, you were breaking news that the MDR is not going to be signing another agreement with the CDC, which is well within your right as a political party. But the question I want to ask you has to do with this whole issue of what broke down, because you have been accused by the United States government of pay for play, and I'm looking at the statement that the U.S. government issued when they put up the sanctions against you. Are you saying that all of those allegations against you were inaccurate? Are you saying the U.S. government got it wrong? Did you ever participate in pay for play?
Let me say this to you. It all got to do with my support for Mr. Weir. Let me tell you exactly what Mnuchin said. Mnuchin said, government ministries gave me millions.
Yes.
To maintain domestic stability. Was there any domestic instability that they got to pay me? Am I police? Am I army? Am I who? These ministries are government ministry under the executive. The auditing commission is here. And they checkmate them and they audit them when they found fault in them. When the ministry gave me money and avoid the purposes for which they gave the money to give to me, then they say ministries gave me money to provide intelligence. Am I NSA?
So you're saying the U.S. is lying? The U.S. got it wrong. That's the question I'm asking you. The U.S. got it wrong.
Listen to me. You don't tell your big brother you lie.
Okay, but you don't tell them, but you yeah.
Listen to me. I'm telling you, the Mnuchin said, ministries of government in Liberia under George Weir gave me millions.
Is that true? Senator, is that true?
Was there any domestic instability?
No, but Senator, hey man, I beg you, Senator, I just want to answer. If you can't answer, it's fine. I understand, I respect your right.
You're not understanding that I'm not a policeman. I'm not a soldier. I'm not immigration. I'm a common soldier. A senator. Was there any instability that the ministries of government gave me millions to maintain stability in this republic without naming the ministries?
So the United States government is lying on you. Is that what you're saying?
It's incorrect.
They're incorrect. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to get my last question, Dr. Richardson. Sorry. So my last question has to do with this issue of where you are currently. And those of us who are students of history and the participants in Liberian politics know you for a certain record. In 2011, Senator, let me finish now. I beg you, Chief. In 2011, I believe you ran for president in 2011. Am I correct?
Right, and I supported Ellen when I couldn't make it.
Okay, wait, yeah, no, I'm trying to go somewhere. You ran for president in 2011. There was at the end of the first round, there was a major meeting of all the opposition leaders in front of the SKD. And I remember that very well. You were there. In fact, I remember what you said during that meeting. You said that all the opposition will have to come together, and you were emphatic to be able to dislodge the Unity Party from power, and that everybody was going to rally around the opposition. A couple of weeks later, you endorsed President Sirleaf on Fish Market Field. In 2017, you signed an agreement with the ALP. You claim that you were flown to Ghana with David, what his name? What the guy named? The white guy, and others to encourage you to run as vice president. To run as vice president to Benani Ure. You signed an agreement. You guys signed an agreement to that very headquarters that you guys spoke to today. After you signed the agreement, you broke out of that agreement. Today you are emphatic. Yeah, let me just land, please. Today you are emphatic that you are not supporting the CDC. Judging from your history, they say the best predictor of future performance is past performance. Judging from your history, can we say it's safe to say there may be a U-turn? And if there is not a U-turn, what gave whoever the other, you said you were in talks with the ANC and the UP and the other opposition parties, what gave you the confidence that they actually trust your word this time?
Let me tell you something, my brother. When my heart decides to do something, I do. I'm a talk and do. When I join you and you try to look down on me and don't respect my value, then I quit from you. That's why I'm not going to sign. You know how much I suffered for Joshua to take him abroad? You know the plane was in almost the air pressure in the plane dropped. Plane was coming down, was tough. And I suffered from pressure.
Well, where are you going? Where are you going?
To Nigeria.
Oh, okay.
All right. I did all that. Divine intervention brought him to power. Do you know that all the heads of states of the sub-region, led by President Obasanjo, has sealed up a deal with Madam Sali to support Boyka? This old man being with you 12 years. What is the problem between you both? Support this man. That was already sealed up when we came to my house. He was always coming here. So when he came, I took him because I saw something. I knew what was happening, to have a divine intervention by going to the prophet of God to pray to break the chain. Everyone went there and the prayer was offered, and he was told exactly what happened. And that when you get to Monrovia, after you win the election, don't look at it as a popularity. Listen to Senator Prince Johnson to bring you back here for the second prayer, that we invoke God to infuse to your mind his word, that will make you to choose your friends, your cabinet ministers with care, that will make you to choose selfless people, not selfish people who are after themselves, that will make investors to be attracted to Liberia. But when we came after he won, he forgot about going back. He paid his charge and he stand to preach. I did everything to influence him to go. He refused. So no investor coming is part of the refusal, is part of the reason, because he refused to go. All airline cutting from here, a part of it. America declaring our airport unsafe, a part of it. Don't forget divine message, divine ordinance. You see? So if the way Naaman went to Elijah in Israel, he said, go play by Jordan. He refused. He was going with listen, and the brother God told him, said, please, if the man of God said, play by a beating you can't do, after he did it, he got healed. Now, Joshua did not go back, so he got that political stigma that made all the international community to drop out from him. We are only borrowing money now, ready for loan. Is that what we're supposed to do in Liberia now? All the pre-war loans are gone back again to
so Senator, why should the opposition trust you? That's the question I asked.
Chairman, we gotta move on.
Why should they trust me?
Yeah, why should they trust you? That's the question I asked. I just want to
on.
Let me tell you, in Ganta, the Ganta Declaration, I invited all the opposition in this country to Ganta against the UP. We didn't want to support Boyka.
I was there, Senator. I signed that document.
And we signed the document, which copy I still have, it says anyone among us that will take the lead, we should support. So
True.
among us who are taking the lead, it was George Weah. So I get support. You know them son, coming son, all of them son that anyone who will be in the lead, we should all get support. When Tanky and George became in the lead, they said no, he ain't no book, he's a footballer, he's illiterate. But you sign paper. I'm the only one who kept the faith, who kept it, who kept faithful to it.
Yes.
Am I inconsistent? No, I'm not inconsistent.
Okay, so if you're just joining us, audience, we have Senator Prince Johnson on the line. He's our guest speaker here tonight. He's talking about this, that he's not going to go back to sign the agreement with CDC. That's a breaking news. He just told us here today. He's talking about feeling threatened in Liberia. He got a call from a credible person, somebody that he trusts, that told him that the CDC government is after him. They either will assassinate him or either put a charge of perjury on him where he will spend some time in jail until the election is over. He also is asking that the turn-over notes between President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and President Weah be published so that the Liberian people can know exactly what they had when President Weah government started, considering that he has repeatedly said that he inherited a broke government. Senator Johnson always just told us too that he accompanied President Weah to Nigeria for prayers, and there were certain requirements that President Weah was supposed to engage in, and he did not follow through. So there's something going on with the divine intervention that is affecting this government. So we're going to go, you just heard my summary of what happened. We're going to go to one question each, and we'll go in the same manner, starting with Tamalin George. You can give your final question to Senator Johnson after all you heard.
Senator Johnson, it seems as though you are determined to see that the president is not re-elected, from what I've been hearing. And I know I've said that you have been inconsistent, but from what I'm gathering now, I heard from a political leader. I spoke to him, and he confirmed what you're saying today, that you guys are determined that you are not going to support the CDC. Now, you also said that you are in talks with the ANC and the former Vice President Boyka. Now, I'll put it into one. I just want to know exactly what really made you and your team, your party, to come with that decision that you are not going to support the CDC at all costs. And also, just to end my question, in an event, if there's a runoff, I mean, who likely will you guys be going to? In case we guys coming up in the room with you guys with the president? John.
I'm the chairman of the governing council.
Yeah.
For example, we are there in the election, and we have to be the deciding factor.
Yeah.
They will decide. It's not one man show, but if CDC and Mr. Cummings in the race, and we got to decide. Looking at the record of 6 years, no investors, employment rate high, living by loan, cutting speech from people. Mr. Weah can cut speech from people. It's not a good leader like that. Cutting speech from people is not a good characteristic of a leader. You see, ignoring people, Vesa will help you. 3 years and a half, he never met with me in the mansion. Even when he come to my own county, I don't know where he's living in a hotel. We meet outside on the road to meet the chief there. If I look at that kind of record to go make decision for him, then it's suicidal. But the party will decide anyway.
Yes.
But the governing council chairman, I'll decide. I hold the gavel.
Timothy, I just checked. We do have time. Do you have a follow-up question?
Actually, I also said, what's the breaking point that caused him to decide that they decided that? Because honestly, in political negotiation, you can have different.
The breaking point is one: when your passport expires, do you travel?
No.
Until it's renewed, and you renew passport for a purpose to travel. This agreement cannot be renewed because it has so many deceptions there. Positions allocated to us stipulated in a document signed by him and myself were not followed.
Okay.
Were not followed. And a lot of things we're not happy with. No investor in the country, I just told you, they hope for change or change for hope. How can it be realistic in the absence of investments? How can food be put on the people table? Can government be the sole employer? Is that what can the very country? With all the private sector? No. What are you doing to encourage the people?
The last time you spoke to the VOA, you said that you said that several officials of government met you, and since that meeting, have you not had another meeting with the CDC party?
Well, you know, my brother, these people have been coming in talking to me, but these are the same people when we could not see me for 3.5 years. I was complaining to them, they ignore me. More so, one Wesley Tappe, who was to my house every day speaking the deepest truth to my wife, who were here eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner with me. I took him to my country, went all over taking care of him. When we started treating me 3.5 years, you couldn't see me. I don't know my offense. I don't know what people doing but me. None of them were able to attend to me. Then the mandate is this year, new mandate this year. Their government become lame dog right now. Then it's sending the same people. You know what? They send the wrong people to the right place. Those who ignore me, when I cry to them, I complain, they didn't hear me, they coming out to me. So what I did was to call all the them on VOA, say on uncensored, let them not come here anymore.
Yes, thank you very much, Senator, for being here with us. I know we're keeping you just so that the Liberian people can get the information directly from you. So thank you. We're going to go on to Kev Hassan, who will ask the senator his 2 questions too.
Senator Johnson, I don't know if you're aware of this. A couple of months ago, sometime last year, the opposition Black took you to your name to DC with signature of over 300,000 people. They claim that you should be prosecuted for war crime. That's from the opposition Black, and including the ANC, Unity Party. It's on video. They took it to Chris Smith. One message you get for the opposition Black from the ANC and the Unity Party was in DC. Is on tape. I don't know if you're aware or you saw the tape, because I can send that to you, that they took it down in DC. Matter of fact, they compare you, Alan White compare your case with Inga Norman, who were the head of the Kamajors, and saying that they got Inga Norman, they can get you. That's from the opposition Black. They took you down to DC, want you to be prosecuted for war crime. What do you get to say to the opposition?
Let me say this to you, even the CDC. When I was supporter of Madam Salim's regime, they call me murderer, warlord, killer, the devil. When I joined them, I became Holy Spirit. Okay? So it's similar thing with the ANC and team. If I am whoever they claim I am, Honorable Elizabeth Comey would not have been coming to me here. He's my brother, he's my in-law. You know? So they're all politics, don't mind them. Now, on the basis of why you will prosecute me.
I'm bringing you to that.
The TRC, in the TRC, look what they cut about me. So contradiction. How will you call me a disciplinarian whose fashion was much more disciplined than any fashion in history? Can you call somebody a disciplinarian? Then you later answer he's a notorious war criminal? What a contradiction. You know, Vardia, and may his soul rest in peace, Amos Sawyer, who I had problem with before he died in the 90s, they compiled the final report. And what they say in there, they contradicted themselves. If you have a copy of the TRC, if you don't have a copy, I want you to find one. Look at the preamble. The preamble written by Vardia and signed by Vardia. He referred to the commissioner of the TRC as we the victims. We the victims. He was quoting. No, not quoting. He said, we the victims. They made themselves victims. So it means the invitation they extended to us to appear before the TRC, it means we were standing before victims. That's why we did not see the real would-be victim, because they were the victims. The people condemned them. That's why the TRC split into two groups. So on what basis will you prosecute me? Now, if they wanted to bring World Crown Court here, the first thing they should have done was to repeal Article 91 that gave Samuel Doe and his entire group amnesty for whatever they did in office or out of office. They are free. Similarly, Mr. Taylor, who was duly elected in 1997, the 51st legislature, I was in Nigeria, I was not here. They published an amnesty law granting all factions amnesty under the law who took part in the 1992 war. So there's an amnesty law. So if they wanted to bring World Crown Court, they would have repealed those laws before enacting the TRC Act into law. Then the TRC will have the power then to recommend World Crown Court.
Senator Johnson, Dr. Richardson, before I ask my second question, I just want to hold him quick on this point. You're telling me the opposition, Mr. Cummings, who part of the opposition, you saying he visited you, he going to you?
Mr. Cummings is not enemy. He's my brother. His father was commissioner in Tapetown. They got quartered there. When he came from America, the first day he entered Liberia, he visited me. The first time he visited here. And when he couldn't make it, this 2017 election, I advised him to remain in the country and acquaint himself with the people by doing some projects, and moving around. He's not my enemy. It was only later on when I heard that he joined the people to take me to Washington, to put Monitsky on me, to call for this. That's why I began to take distance. But he's my good friend.
Wow. So Mr. Cummings is your good friend. Wow.
Yeah,
okay. You just break it that he's your friend, he visited you, and you guys have talked, you advise him and everything, and then he turned around and take you to okay.
All of them being here, all of them. You know about hard case now, everybody.
Okay. Oh wow.
Your second question, Kev, please.
Yeah, my second question. The 7.5 million you spoke about, because I do know that for a fact, and according to my sources, that the government and what I know and what coming up, your figure of 7.5 is not true. That the government don't owe about 7. Let me finish now. Owed and about 7.5, and you're advocating for that.
Yeah.
According to what I get for facts from my sources and what I know, that there's no 7.5 million owed for what you're talking about, and also
I'm the order you know of.
Also it coming up. It will come up. I can break it. It coming up. You know how much they owe as a senator. You know your 7.5 million. Senator, you know it's not 7.5. You know that. You and I know it's not 7.5. So
no, I'm not, because I've had a record yet.
Let's move on.
Ask Senator Kuhn. He will tell you he's on a budget committee. I'm on a budget committee, but he know more figure than I do. I don't know why they put me in there. They took me from security and put me on finance, so I don't go there. So ask Kuhn.
Yeah. Let me say this. I spoke with back then when the war was going on. Some of the information we were hearing that you killed more Nibadians than any other warlord.
Is he Kev?
Let me finish now. Let me finish. You answer it.
I just want to stop you small. If I kill Nibadians, would they compensate me to serve them for 18 years?
But that's but that's why you here to clear the air. The reason I'm bringing this thing,
You know, it's not true. I don't know what tribe you belong to. You cannot kill your own people. You can't redeem your people, then you go kill them. Then they will compensate you. Are they have guns putting it in the brain?
but you see, you come out and try to clear it. The reason I'm asking you this, you put an allegation on the government, but there's an allegation on you killing your own people. And they're saying for 18 years, there's nothing beside your school that you can show for. For 18 years, and you're asking for another 9 years to take it to 27 years. So I'm saying, what I'm saying is, there's an allegation that you put in on government. You had a press conference, but there's an allegation on you which you deny. How can we believe this allegation that you denying you kill more Divanians than any other warlord?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You are educated, but you something wrong today, because you are seeing people say I killed so many Geo people. Is that the reason they come to 18 years and going back 27 years? Then you say I built my own school. This school is the largest university in this country, most beautiful, all foreign material, everything computer. Each student to a computer. The place is packed. You know, the credit hour, $8 per credit hour. It's practically free. Because if we make it free, how do we pay the professors? Now, by the 20th of February, I'm bringing 2 Indians, who will be at Connington and Tubman University. They are coming to live there. I got 16 apartments, 2-story there. They will live there, teach in the science department, and then write for grants. The credit hour is so cheap than any credit hour in the Republic. But when you go inside the auditorium, you can put food that you eat. The classes, modern material, modern armchair, everything modern. The naked marble tile. You don't put salt marble tile in school. You put it in Royal Palace. The best thing in the world is education. Nima is the second largest to Maserado. I don't want my children to graduate from high school and come to Monrovia. The transportation, the food, the lodging.
I want to end, Senator Johnson. I want to end because the time. The professor here should believe in.
A private school, because private school.
You made a lot of allegation, and you made a lot of claims. For example, let me give you this: if you still believe in that, are you still believing that Mr. Cummings is a gay? You believe that? You still believe that?
I'm going to interrupt. I'm sorry. I'm going to interrupt that question.
I'm asking if you believe in that. If you believe that, I'm not accusing. I'm asking him. A part of his allegation.
No.
I don't think that's a personal question.
No. I'm asking him if you believe.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, I think that question was inappropriate to ask.
I think that question.
I'm asking him if you believe. I'm asking him. I'm not accusing.
Well, that is an inappropriate comment to put out there.
Yeah, we now have to discuss comments, please.
Thank you. We're going to move forward right now.
I am saying you can. They pay you money. You defending CDC there. They pay you money. Just for sitting down as a panelist and making they pay money. So you got every right to defend CDC. I'm saying the turnover note should be published. And you as a Liberian should feel sorry for the Liberian people to ask along with us what they will inherit. The 150 million was a cash reserve. What did they do with it? You should be asking your boss man to tell you, to publish it for the good of the nation. Then you go to the council rabble. You're talking about what? Yeah?
Yes. Thank you so much. We're going to move on to our next question. Panelists will be Mr. Fagon, but I just again want to encourage you guys and remind you guys to let's keep the conversation to substantial issues, not personality. Thank you very much. Mr. Fagon.
Senator Johnson.
Yes, sir, Brother Fagon.
Yes, sir.
The new partnership between Fagon and Prince Johnson is I they enjoying the tour. Oh, sorry.
And the same partner share they show your video, you and President, we are walking in, you have to Jamaica. I see Senator Johnson here and Teshi.
My man, ask your question, man.
President, we are and you were in Jamaica a few days ago.
Ask your question. Ask your question.
No way, so your partner share, I want a partner share, which one sweet?
The president are very good friends, Paco. You know that.
But then they want me and people are taking me freely.
Okay, can we?
I said I just enjoying you tonight. Now all I said, they said.
Can bring order back to the show, please? Mr. Pacon, please ask.
The show gotta be sweet, small, man.
I know. I understand.
All right, Senator. We know that from reliable sources, and on this show last night, Brother Timothy George announced that there will be a signing ceremony between the NPP, LPDP, and the CDC. But today we got a shock of our lives that James Barney is literally gone into hiding. Alex Tyler has disappeared, and Richard Devine is gone as well. They cannot find these people because these people do not want to be put on sanction for pay to play. Are you in touch with them? Are you holding meetings with them? Are you discussing with them? Because it seems as though they might come your way, and that will be the end of the game.
Well, you know, Pacon, Brother Pacon, we are senators. And Ellis Tyler has every reason to back off. Ellis Tyler formed coalition with the CDC because of his passion or love for the CDC, George Ray himself, and the party. But guess what? They are using Snow against him in bombing. That's not a good thing there. And Snow is in UP. He never joined CDC. He never voted for CDC. But Ellis Tyler formed coalition with Biden and CDC then. But you're supporting Snow against Ellis Tyler. Is that a good thing to do? No. Senator Barney is a senator. We react every day. We chat, come to my office, because we are lawmakers, represent our people. He has told me he will never, ever sign new agreement. If they want Joao Taylor, they can have her. And I don't think they will win Bond Country. I don't think they will win Bond Country. Because all the Bond Country authorities are not in good rapport with the vice president. And she has gone there to tell the Bongis, the elders, traditional leaders, wait or wait for you, Joe will win. So they say, hey. So there's a lot of problem. Our party, on the new leadership of Senator Kuhn, is working with James Barney, working with Alex Tyler, working with EFCC, working with ANC, working with, I told them to open up to everybody. They for the sake of the country. We can't go back to another 6 more years, no investor coming. 6 more years of cutting speech from people. 6 more years of not meeting even the lawmakers of the 73 districts that make up 15 counties. The president cannot see anybody. He refused to see all the caucuses. He will not pick and choose. Is that the kind of life we live here? And I am the godfather of my country, my people, and the kingmaker who took you abroad for divine intervention. I'm sitting down before you and the prophet. He giving you command. When you win, come back here. Don't wait for inauguration. If you don't come back here, there's the consequences. And I know about it. So why do I follow you? Why do I follow you? I know what's going on. So James Barney then, if I call you now, you will answer. They will not join CDC. I respect Barney. You see, let me tell you, the 15 senators that went for election 2020, I guess, and they didn't make it. A lot of them joined CDC before they went for election. They didn't make it.
Yeah.
Henry Mala, Dallas Guare, so many of them, their CDC-led government refused to pick up the phone to the president. He didn't know them again.
Henry Yala.
Wow. Henry Yala with us now. That is Slunter with us now. They are moving, creating awareness in Bond County for us, for MDR. We are bringing the West Central something together. Forget about Southeastern Group. And the thing about it, you get all the 60-something, 69 or something position to Southeastern. Are they ready from Southeastern? Because they got no impact there. I think they came from America or somewhere here. They just picked them from Monrovia. They got no impact over there. The people themselves, I don't think they will vote. Because Robert G said, no role, how they will vote for me, we can bring vote to them.
Wow.
From Sano to Grand Crew is tough. So, Biden cannot sign any new contract. He has shown me he will not. Ellis Tyler and Kuhn have been talking. Kuhn been meeting people across the board. Kuhn have met the ANC. Good result came from there. Kuhn met Honorable Joseph Boyka, our pa. Good news from there. I'm meeting with everybody. He met 150 lawmakers. He met all the intellectuals, the leaders of the Labor Congress in this country, all the NIMBA people in the 15 countries, their heads. He met all the Grebo people. You know, he's Grebo. He speaks Crew, he speaks Grebo, he speaks Crown, he speaks Bassa. The boy is all around. A young millionaire. Tough. Lovable. Charismatic. Lawyer. Faithful to the nation.
Not a breaking news tonight. What?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, my second question.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. Your second question.
Senator Johnson.
Yes, sir.
Today, I received a warning from the people of the Southeast. And the warning they gave me had to do with the fact that I always say Southeastern Company. And they name all the people from Maryland and Grand Crew. For example, Ledger Hureni, Eugene Nangbe, then Grand Crew, then all the other people in the government. They said, how many people you see from Sano or River G? So they want me today. When it comes to regional politics, given that we know all of you guys are withdrawing now, do you think that President Weah can survive a first round attempt if the opposition unite?
Chairman Byron, are you there? We're having some technical problems. So, yes, Chairman Byron, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
It looks like we're having some technical problems.
Yes, I'm here, and
You want to call back?
Yes, I'll call him back.
Yes. So, in the meantime,
I'm hearing you.
okay. He's here. Thank you. Mr. Falcon, can you please repeat your question?
I was saying, amidst all of this, now that we know what we know so far, do you think when the political forces come together on the basis of what has happened over the last 6 years, do you think President Weah can survive a first round attempt? We're having the same problems.
He's not hearing us.
I can hear you, but I'm not hearing Fagon.
Oh, Minister Falcon, he's not hearing you. Can you hear me, Senator?
I'm unmuted.
I do, madam.
Okay.
I am saying, can you hear me now?
I can hear you clearly.
Okay, good.
I am saying, given all that you know now, given all that we know now from the senator's playbook, can President Weah survive a first round attempt?
Well, I doubt it. And I don't even Ledger who is talking about you. He himself, we spoke just about a few weeks now, a week and a half almost. Politically, he had not answered the president for a year. You got your own frustration, but he's just talking to maintain a job because now he say, you understand me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's just talking against you to protect his job. He himself has said to me, 1 year plus, he has not been able to meet the president. No asset politically. But the chief mouthpiece of the government, the information minister, cannot see the president. Now, where are we going? I spoke to him. And he doesn't know that my telephone got recorded. I recorded him. So for him to put a map on you is disappointing. And the thing we're talking here, Are these people really from Southeastern? Yes, if they are from there, then why is no development there? So don't get nothing. You go there, no house. The poor people that don't feel the impact of their children being given good position. You get to see the development. You go to the South, nothing there. But yet they're from Southeast. The Supreme Court bench, the DPA, the police director. Yeah, I can name 64 positions for Southeast. But are they ready from there? Because I'm married from Southeast, they are part of me. So I'm not against them. But if they're ready from there, then why are they not making development there? Why are they centralized in Malaria? That is the problem.
I rest my case, Honorable Senator. I got no case. I got to get to work.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Just another information shared by Senator Johnson. He's telling us that NPP Bonnie is not going to likely sign the agreement, just like the MDR is not going to likely sign the agreement. So there's a question as to who's going to nominate President Weah. Is it going to be the Congress for Democratic Change, or is it going to be the coalition? So that's kind of what we're discussing here, and some of the questions that is kind of unfolding here today. If you're just joining us, you have Senator Prince Y. Johnson on the phone with us. And I have one question for the sake of time, and then I will also move to panelist Peabody and then Chairman Ben Sammy. My question to you, Senator Johnson, I just want you to clarify for us again. I wasn't sure what I heard. You said that the TRC report contradicted itself. And you give one example. The example you gave is
it got plenty contradictions. Madam Richardson, that is why the commission that was established by an act of the legislature, the commissioners themselves broke into two different groups against each other. How can you call me a disciplinarian inside of the court? Prince Johnson is disciplinarian. Then you say I'm notorious. Contradiction. Can I say, Madam Richardson, is so good? They say, but look how she's criminal.
okay.
I can go and violate together on the house.
So one of the contradiction that you are talking about is they describe you as a disciplinarian on the one hand, and on the other hand, they describe you as a notorious person. Is that one of the contradictions that you're talking about?
Well, Dr. Richardson,
Yes.
we just lost the senator, and we are going to establish contact with him very shortly. But you people can be analyzing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So we have two. We have Miss Dr. Peabody, and Ben is expected to come in when the senator returns. But I was just wondering about the contradiction that he spoke about. I needed clarity, and I'm still seeking clarity on that. He mentioned that they called him a disciplinarian in one sector, and in another sector, they mentioned that he was a notorious person. So hopefully when he returns, we'll get further information. So guys, I just want to thoughts. So anything that you're thinking, you want to just anything that afterthoughts that you're having right now, until we get the senator back.
I have a lot of afterthoughts, and I'm laughing because
you've been doing a lot of laughing today.
I mean, because I've seen this movie before, and I see there's a lot of excitement. But listen, this is my thought on this. I think what's happening here is two things. I think Senator Johnson is clearly not happy. You can hear that he continuously say that he was not entertained by the president over the last 3 years. He signed an agreement. They didn't get what they wanted to get. The question that I want to ask him, hopefully he can hear this and come back and ask, the chairman of his party is still a minister in the government. A lot of his hierarchy in his parties are still officials of this government. Are they going to resign? What's going to happen to them, right? And then the other thing that I'm concerned about is, look, I think, and this is me coming from left field, I think two things are happening here, and they could hurt the CDC it could help Senator Johnson, or it could help the CDC and hurt Senator Johnson and the MDRO. Two things are happening here. I think two forces have come head-on collusion. And I think they both, from the CDC end, I think the CDC has made a determination to call Senator Blunt, to call Senator Johnson's bluff, to say, listen, we're gonna go out, we're gonna go all out on this issue. And I think Senator Johnson is also saying, okay, you guys want to fight, let's go ahead and rumble and let's see. But there's a risk here though. And this is where the political punditry comes in. There is a risk here because at the end of the day, it could be what I like to call a Hail Mary pass. If many people know American football, a Hail Mary pass is you throw the ball from the other end of the field, you hope that your wide receiver receive it and get a touchdown. If that ball lands in your wide receiver hand and it falls out of his hands, you either may get a field goal. So I think a lot of things are going to happen between now and then. I think a lot of the opposition people who are even talking to Senator Prince Johnson, they're doing it with one eye open, one eye closed, because they're trying to figure out where he's coming from, where his angle. And then lastly, Fagon's senator's playbook that he continues to talk about. At the end of the day, I think all of these things will come into play and we will ultimately get a chance to see where the chips will fall. But I think there's a collusion course here, and we wait to see what the end results will be. We just wait to see what it will be.
Yeah. Interesting.
Can
Yes,
I come in?
yes, come in, Mr.
Ben,
Fagon.
Ben, let me say your analysis was fine, except that I found one thing that's not correct there. Here is what I find that is not correct. The same way Prince Johnson feels, correct me if I'm wrong, the others feel the same way, true or false. Look at LPDP, for example. Did President Weah treat them fair? No. Look at NPP. Did President Weah treat them fair? No. Let's look at some of the individuals, such as myself, as an individual. I was not in any party. I jumped there. Did he treat me fair? So, you know what brings, you're in the States. You talk about Hail Mary. But thank God that our Francine here, she laying her here one side because let you know where I'm going. What brings about a game? When everybody in the neighborhood feels that they're threatened and that they cannot go out alone and they have something in common, they bond together. That's what brings about a game. So if Tyler feels the way he feels, which of course you and me will not debate that one. NPP, you know NPP trouble right now with them. It's the same problem. Prince Johnson got the same problem. They're not looking at each other with one eye. First, it was about, if I don't do it, where else can I go? That was the debate on Spoon. But now, they find out that if they come together as a group, CDC is outnumbered, and CDC does not have a leverage.
So let me come in.
Yes.
Right there, Dr. Wilson, please, quickly.
Yes.
I just want to give a quick reply.
And after that, we'll let other people have the opportunity to comment.
Yes. And Fagon, let me say this. A couple of things that I find wrong with your analogy is based on hope. Hope is not a strategy. All of what you were talking about. Wait. I interrupt you. Let me finish.
He said my analysis is hope.
Hey, Fagon, let me finish. I'm listening to you. I'm listening to you. Would that be what you back?
Is it
Senator
back?
Richardson,
Yes.
we have the honorable senator on the line.
Thank you very much.
Then you follow all kind of occasions.
Honorable senator,
I'm here.
go ahead.
Yes. So I was just asking you, Honorable Senator, thank you for coming back. I was just asking you to give us an example of the contradictions that you found in the TRC, and you gave me one. You said that I wanted one hand to describe you as a disciplinarian, and on the other hand, they call you notorious. Are there any more contradictions you saw, or is that what you were thinking about in terms of contradictions? Senator, are you hearing me? Chairman Byron, looks like we lost him
Is
again.
Byron muted? Or can we? I think that's the problem.
Yeah, actually, you're right. I just see his. It looks like
Byron, can you hear us? We can't hear the senator.
No, I can hear you. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
No,
yeah,
we don't hear you. Now we can hear you. Thank you. Can you please repeat your answer?
You know, the act that established the TRC
Mm-hmm.
was meant for the would-be victim and the would-be perpetrator to meet before the commission called the TRC.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
It was never meant for the TRC to keep away the would-be defender, I mean the would-be complainant. That authority was not given to them. And another issue is that the TRC included in the book. Don Neke came to the TRC. He said he killed 20,000 Liberians with juju. Is that true for your own confession? As a colonel or general with weapons? How many do you kill them with the guns you were having? And they did not include his name in the TRC report.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody come forward and say, I killed 20,000 Liberians. Of course, who were those Liberians? Nimanians. Why? Because it was Nimba County that was targeted and declared enemy of the state. So when you kill 20,000 Liberians with juju, and you want people to believe that you killed 20,000 people with juju, then as a general with the brigade you commanded, how many people did you kill with the guns? And the TRC say, oh, the men speak true. You don't put your name in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Were they mandated to do that? No. And you cannot call me a disciplinarian and call me notorious. And another issue in the report,
Mm-hmm.
it said the ECOMO.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you. Yes, we can.
They said the ECOMO
Mm-hmm.
was transporting the crowns and the Mandingo people. They did not say from which point to which point, but
Mm-hmm.
they said they were transporting crowns and Mandingos and I killed all. Is that true? International peacekeepers transporting people, civilians, that would kill all. Did I kill the ECOMO too? So that party has a full of flaws.
Okay.
They wanted to get even with people who they didn't want to see.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So my next question then, before we go on to panel Dr. Peabody, what do you make about the CDC program that is coming up, where they are saying that they're going to take 1 million people to the yes.
They are seeing a bigger crowd than the ATS. One time, I think the 2020 season, they failed the SKD. They were giving T-shirts, red cap, blue cap with money. So people went there, thousands and thousands and thousands. I didn't go, I watch it. But I called Morba Molu, I called some of the people, I called Mr. Bagay, I said, these are fake crowd. Fake crowd. That they know will beat us. Crowd does not determine your win. They're not for nothing becoming that money they're spending. So in a land of poverty, when the people living in poverty life, no job, and the ruling party got so much money spending, who will not go there? So let's see. The reason they cannot go to SKD because it will show that there is a decline in the popularity. So they're going to ATS, where even 40,000 people can take it. So let's see what happens.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Why these students to small one? For sure what?
Is it Dr. Peabody?
I would prefer to go to this stadium. For sure strength. I won't go to Pekin Stadium, small stadium.
Okay. Thank you. Dr. Peabody.
Senator Reverend Johnson, let me ask you this question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to rejoin the CDC party?
Is that a question for me to answer?
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to rejoin the CDC?
You want to know if I will rejoin the CDC?
Yeah, on a scale from 1 to 10.
Amen. I'm persistent though. You don't know me, scare me. don't take me, don't look at me by people's insinuations about me. When you meet with me, I'm highly intellectual. Very
I got to.
calm.
I will. I plan to do that soon.
Yeah, very humble.
Yeah,
Very
I'll visit your church when I come to Liberia, Senator.
Yeah. So people, in Liberia, what I know is, they're not good man. How you know? Everybody says, man. That's what people believe in, sentiment. So I will not join the CDC. I've been with them for 6 years this year. And what I have seen and felt, they're not encouraging. First of all, the president listened to lies. You say, I say, he cannot speak for you for that. Madam Salih never used to cut off speak from people. One day, Madam Salih called me. In the morning, I went there to eat breakfast. What kind of breakfast? They come on, they call it small pineapple. He said, I just called you to stay with me. I want to ask you something. You are a preacher. Who do you preach to? Believer or unbeliever? I said, unbeliever. She said, okay, I'm a politician. There are people who hear other people talk about you to others, and you don't understand me. Sometimes you talk about me outside. So I need to call such people to visit me so we can sit and talk. So I can know more about you and you know more about me. So those who talk bad about me are the people I like to meet. That's the way I do myself. People who talk bad about me, I like to meet with them. So when you meet with me, you see a different person. When I was in the army, I was quiet. I was a member of the Church of Christ. I was a son leader. I was baptized in 1969. I had not been because a government targeted a group of people, a county, for total extermination, so help me God. I will not have fought. It was pitiful. You know what they call dirty? They call for our dirty, brother-in-law. We marry each other. We are interrelated. But people, bad people that don't belong here, bad people, they spot the world. Okay. Today, I'm so happy. Even if God call me today, I will die in peace. Because Grand Judah and Nimba are back together and they pray together. So I hope to see you when you come one day.
Yes, one day I'll see you. Let me ask you my second question, Senator and my dear. Yes, you have all these concern about the government. What other option do you think Liberia have? If you don't have George Weah, you have other political parties, you have the ANC, you have the UP. How likely are you to join one of these parties?
How do I join other parties when we have ours? MDR.
Oh, you contesting? Okay.
Reconstruction. I'm the founder and chairman of the governing council, and Honorable Cole, the distinguished Senate bearer, is our leader.
So I'll be done. My question was just let me say. So it's for sure that MDR will be a political party in the election in October. Is that true?
MDR is already a political party. I took part in election 2017. It is a party established under the law of this republic to contest.
So you'll be contesting 2023?
Pardon me?
You'll be contesting 2023, right?
Yeah, Honorable Cole is running 2023, but we are waiting to see the reason why Mr. Cole is quietly working around the clock, 24 hours around the clock, talking to every group in the republic, group by group from all the 15 countries. He's taking time and he will come out in the not too far distant future to speak to the nation. And at that time, the petition program will be the greatest in Nimba because charity begins at home. People will come from all over Monrovia, different countries, to converse there in Nimba. So he's going to be there.
Thank you, Senator.
That's why Mr. Weah should be most moderate, speak to people kindly, because when you met Cole at the annual message program, he didn't speak to Cole. You never spoke to him, but you spoke to Coon's subordinate, Coon's friend, Gompo Cargo. Right before Coon, he raised Gompo Cargo and left Coon standing in the call. Why tomorrow you come second to somebody and Coon comes there and you want Coon support? Will we give it to you? Somebody who don't let us speak the truth when they feel offended? Those who offend me are the people for gay. I told myself I'm gay. During the war, 4 guys, they killed my mother. They slaughtered her for no reason. Because they were fighting me, they ain't able to catch me. They killed a woman. But 2 of them, one of them is my chief of staff. I mean, my political officer. The other 3, I help them. All the time, I help them. I go to the country, they come to me. The other 2 is to the university campus as a chief security and deputy. That revolution. My mother is gone. I cannot pay anybody but to get them food, to get them water, so they can know that the woman they kill, the woman's son giving them job and food. That's what happening now. So our best is that we have to be open. To speak to people even when you feel offended. That's part of the leadership. Don't be sending people to us to talk. There's nothing wrong in talking, man, people. You just said take telephone and call, but we went to the marshal and we told him we're running for some reason. He said that past Saturday, and you run against me is an affront to me. Why would you say that about us? Let us join together and defeat the one Congo. How can we join a stranger in our own country to fight our own song? It's better to put Kun, who is all over the country. He got projects everywhere. People love him. He's a lover of youth. He has sent over so many people abroad scholarships. Very kind young man. You beat the one Congo, the one will get me grounded. And this is better. Then,
Okay, but let me ask a question. I need to ask Senator Johnson. Listen, man, I'm enjoying this conversation today. Let me ask you a question. Is the chairman of your party still the Minister of Post?
He is the Minister of
Post and Telecommunication, right?
Telecommunication.
Yeah.
And that is reaching abroad right now because the chairman of the party is supposed to critique the president's speech.
Okay. So are you guys gonna? So let me ask you: is he gonna resign? Are your members or your executive committee who are in the government? Are they gonna resign?
The executive committee met today. We're meeting again to speak to him.
Okay.
He has now kind of all the other people who've been speaking.
Okay.
You should see reason to move quietly because you see, you got to be positively aggressive towards the ruling party and one second term. But with the man being Minister of Transport, the man going around the world traveling in the name of the ministry, it will be difficult for him to respond.
So, and the Secretary General is also an assistant minister. That's correct, right?
The Secretary General and him work in the same place. The Secretary General was one of those planters within the party. He has been carrying a lot of gossips to break the party.
Why are you like that, man? But anyway, let me ask you my second question. My second question is, you said
in Ghana, we didn't want them to run. We didn't want them at all. We wanted other people who were not ministers. But they said, we swear to God, will not betray you. We said, okay, we are executive committee. When we diagnose any kind of dysentery, we'll move you.
Okay. So Senator, let me ask you. You said Senator Coon, who is the political leader, who, by the way, I'm a huge fan of his. I like Senator Coon. He's one of the smartest guys, I believe, out there. And that has a great future.
See why people can call you Kekwakoto.
You know something? It's not my fault. It's not my fault that I'm well grounded in Liberian politics and I have influence. Influence. And a lot of people who attack me, they want to have the influence that I have. So I can understand the problem they have. But Senator, don't mind for going. They're trying to take me off balance a little bit. Let me ask you this, Senator. You said that Senator Coon, and I repeat, fine species. I think he's a great guy. A strong senator. You said Senator Kuhn is doing consultations around the country. You also say that Senator Kuhn is going to run for president. I'm trying to figure out, how are these conversations going? Is MDR involved? Is MDR engaging in this conversation to build coalitions where people will run as VP to MDR?
Yeah, let me say this to you.
Yeah.
MDR is a party, it will register to contest.
Yes.
But while contacting other parties, because you could come second to any other party, you could come first, and someone is second to you. One other party that may come tell may be the deciding factor.
Good.
So you need to reach everybody.
So that's what I'm asking. There's a question I'm asking. Is there
in a process that will move straight forward?
So that's what I'm asking. And please let me just ask this question quick. I beg you. The MDR strategy is to run for president and not to run as vice president. Am I correct?
No, we leave options open.
All your options are open. That's the question I wanted to answer. So
Okay.
all your options are open, and you are holding consultations with opposition parties because all your options are open.
Yes. Take for example.
Thank you.
Take for example, we're running straight. But take for example, what if Comey say he want Kuhn or Omen Broga say he want Kuhn? Does that one run?
So then who y'all go to? So what Comey say you want Kuhn and Broga say you want Kuhn? Who y'all will pick?
Well, when we get to the agreement, we'll decide.
Okay. Senator Johnson. I'm sure the president watching this program tonight. Okay. So after the program, President, we are calls you tomorrow, and they meet you and say, well, one beat at the center. They agree to get the people on NEMA at $7.5 million. They also agree to most of your demands you guys are making in negotiation. What happened?
What I want you to know, first of all, is that President Weah is not our enemy. But the system of governance is incompatible with our own agenda. Can you know when you become president, that you elect a leader of the nation based upon his capability or what influence to bring investors? No one is here. For 6 years, this year, we live without investors. Therefore, the unemployment rate is skyrocketing. Things are not supposed to be the way they are. Children graduate from school, nothing. Food is expensive. Things are difficult. Do we elect for second term in the same way? Where you pick and choose, where you do not meet the people's lawmakers who form caucuses, you don't open corridor to meet you at the national? Where you do not even invite people who seem to be opposed to you. The one time I said, why don't we invite Dylan? Bronsky Arabella is no more. Dylan all love you. It may be the policy they differ with. Can you invite Dylan, speak to him, you travel abroad, take him? Can you invite Numbly, take them and sit down with them and chat, discuss the country, hear their view? But nothing like that. When you objectively criticize, whether you make corrective measures, they don't want to see you. That is the problem we have. We love him, but we love a leader who is tolerant. A leader must have big heart. Put your heart in the cold water. You ignore people, you call us speech. Do you know you call us speech for me? For almost 3.5 years, they were through every snow who didn't vote for him that I can go through if I need to speak to him. They were having to go over the peace. When we're voting for him, every snow voting for Braca. When we're campaigning for Weah, every snow voting for campaigning for Braca. After we succeed, they are dying brown. That's very good. But don't forget your old friend, your close ally, the one who help you. The vessel God used to take you to divine land, a divine blessing. Don't ever forget such a person as you did to me. When you get a neighbor, I don't know the hotel you stay, I'm not allowed to read to you. Our completely marginalized or ostracized. And Magay is the problem. By being President Weah, because you're my in-law. You're my in-law, married to the woman from Grand Cruz, Southtown, Fidakli, where you come from. So one day you can't even send a telephone to me. Papi, I want to see you in the morning. But what Ellen should do? Why? Why you call up for me? Then the last minute you want to vote my number, looking at the treatment of PYJ, then I'm going to support you. But I'm not a good batter. You will not see me again. You will take me your left foot. That's what I think.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. So you've been hearing a lot of thoughts from Senator Johnson. We're going to go on to Kev to ask the last question from Senator Johnson, and he's going to give us his closing thoughts, and then we're going to have a discussion among ourselves to end the show. So Kev Hassan.
Yeah, so Senator Johnson.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you this. In your 18 years, Senator Johnson, I asked you that, but you did not answer. In your 18 years, beside the church and the school, what are some of the things you did for the people of Nimba County?
I didn't get that question. Please repeat.
I say, in your 18 years as a senator, what are some of the beside the school, right, and the church? What are some of the things that you did for the people of Nimba? What are some of the things that you did?
Oh, I have a foundation. I give scholarships. I have people, some of them are in India, they're in Brussels, they're in Turkey. Same thing my son I do. A lot of people took my place.
I'm not talking about your school. I just say beside your school. What's some of the other?
I just scholarships.
What?
I just scholarships. You know, let me tell you, I am not a representative. The Constitution gave power to the district to elect their own representatives, and I understand that deal with the country. So I look at the urgent need of the country and the most battling need. That is education.
So what are some of the bills that you put in? What are some of the bills that you put in to benefit the people of Nimba?
That bill I was talking about, or I was talking about the truck on my left and other things.
Senator, what are some of the bills you put in? Senator,
I sent in and a co-sponsor or the one director sponsor. We're talking about time, not this time.
Senator, you're here to advocate for the people of Nimba, sir. You're here to advocate. One of the things that you decide to withdraw from supporting the CDC, you said things for your people. So we'll put that aside. I'm asking you now, what are some of the bills that you sponsor or co-sponsor for the people of Nimba?
There's the laws we made, the bill I sent. What I don't send is not what we're talking about here.
No, but that's one of your functions.
The flyer you sent out, specifically mentioned assassination of Prince Johnson.
Senator Johnson.
I come in now. In 18 years, I will not do anything my people won't kill me. So that one is up.
That's what I want to know. That's why I want to know. What are some of the bills? Because that's part of your function.
We put it to another time. We discuss bills.
So, Kev, it sounds like the senator is saying
he cannot answer that. But let me ask you my second.
Listen, by me not answering doesn't mean I have no answer. It's not a pressure at this time for this kind of situation we're discussing.
Yeah, because
we're not bringing anything that's not even part of the discussion.
Bills are part of the discussion. Bills are part of the discussion. Bills are part of the discussion because you withdraw because of you advocate for people.
I'm not scheduled to discuss all that.
Okay. Let me ask you this. The roads that was built by this government and the president, is that road benefiting the people of Nimba?
I'm not here to discuss that road because the road, if I may answer, that road was the ground was broken by Madam Salee when Doug Cooper was superintendent. I was part of that groundbreaking. And the money from Ganta to Saturday, that money is for government. It's for the government.
Yeah, I'm asking you, completed by this president. this road benefiting the people of Niba.
Listen, the duty of any government is to seek the welfare of his people.
I understand that, but I'm asking you.
Listen to me, Mr. Kerr. Is that what we're discussing here? You say asking inappropriate questions.
Discussing about the people of
We are
Niba.
talking about the publication of the takeover note. We are talking about reasons why I cannot sign new contract. That's what I'm saying.
But we're talking about the people of Niba. I'm asking you if the road benefits the people of Niba.
When I'm here hungry, they ask me, we're hungry. Can you walk on the road? No. You face road, no job. No money to buy market to do something. And you're out there, you're hungry. You're starving. Can you walk on that road?
I'm asking you if the road benefits.
I believe that the senator answered the question the way that he wanted to answer it. So is that okay with you that we can?
I'm not satisfied with the answer. If that's the way you want to answer that.
Let's hold that for your closing, please. Can we?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Senator Prince Johnson, for being on the show tonight and for telling Liberian people what is going on with you. When we started the show, you told us that you got a threat from a credible person that you trust, and you called us because you are blowing the alarm to all of the media institutions, especially VOA, Spoon, so that people can know tomorrow if something happens to you. So again, I just want to give you the opportunity to just give your closing comments to us, to our viewers, and then we are going to just stay here and then have some final thoughts.
You mean my closing?
Yeah, yes, please.
I'm going to thank all of you, the panelists, and Dr. Richardson, you the moderator. Thanks for always picking up our phone and to address national issues through your media. I just want all Liberians at home and abroad to know that this government is desperate to be re-elected in one Nima County, and they look at me and Kun as an obstacle, and that anything happening to me, just that government is responsible. That's what I want to say.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. We wish you well. We pray that all goes well. Thank you for being here today, Senator Johnson.
Thank you, madam. God bless you. Good night.
Okay, good. Well, guys, what a spirited, interactive program here. There was a lot of news. I'm just going to go over just to keep your mind fresh a little bit. He said to us that MDR is not going back to CDC, in as much as you guys polled him in many ways, asking the same questions about returning to CDC in so many words. That's what he said. He is not going back. We should trust him. He's a man who sticks to his word. That's what he said. He did also mention that NPP sector led by Bonnie is not going back to CDC either. He's having conversations with Bonnie, and it looks like that's not going to happen. The primary reason why he's here today, he said he was threatened, and there were a threat to assassinate him, or there was a threat to charge him with perjury. And when that happens, they were going to lock him up in prison until after the elections. Lastly, he is pressing that President Weah publish the turnover notes that he said he saw. And in the notes, it had that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, President Sirleaf, turned over $150 million to this government. Therefore, when President Weah says that he inherited a broke government, he is lying to the Liberian people. And he also mentioned that Ellen Johnson came on national media and said that Weah should not lie on her. She did not pass on a broke government to Weah. So let's talk about our final thoughts, give out some closing remarks. We'll start again with Tamerlane. Tamerlane, what's your impression? I know it was a lot that we just took in. And then we'll just listen to Tamerlane, Kev, Fagon, and then Sammy.
Yes, we predicted that this year, come to this time of the year, it will be an interesting time of our political space. Ben always says it's a crazy season, and if you've been following Liberian politics, you don't take your word until the last minute, because things can change. Like from tonight, things can change overnight, change tomorrow morning. But again, I had I had a long discussion with the political leader of MDR Sunday, and the same thing that Senator is saying, he said it too. In fact, the words were, I either be on number 1 on the ticket or number 2 on the ticket. He was clear, and he said we are not going to support the CDC. He was clear, and now what we're hearing now, CDC is they are gearing up for the historic renomination of President Weah on Saturday, and they are doing everything possible to ensure that they send a statement to the world and the Liberian people that they are indeed still popular and ready to move on to the campaign. But from what we heard tonight, if all of what we heard tonight stays in remains in constant, I'm telling you, the election has gotten much tough. It will be a competitive election, because what I'm seeing, the MDR trying to go other political parties and come up with a block or so, perhaps. Like he says, somebody questioned him, he said he did not commit that definite that they will be like they won't collab with other party. That means we may hear in the next few weeks or days or months, either they decide to go to boycott or to Cummings. Now we know there are two people they are in touch with. Right? We'll say, well, we met with Cummings, we'll go Cummings and his coalition, or we'll go boycott and his coalition. So right now, depends on the discussion, and I'm sure the UP president, Vice President Boyka now, I'm very sure his team, they are all making moves now to ensure that they engage the PYGA group, MDR and so forth, and so they can go, because and these people carry weight behind them. Honestly, they come from they come from Nima. Nima is a deciding factor on election. They have been the deciding factor on election the last three elections we had, and so. And I think, I don't know, the CDC, in my opinion, I don't know where they went wrong. Especially seeking re-election, I thought they would have really make sure that they engaged the MGR and the constituent parties like the MPP and LPDP, and make up for the mistakes they made during the 5 years. You see, like just to end, when Madam Salif took over, man, she one of the most smart politicians we have had in our history. Her first term, she delivered to the people of Liberia well. Even at that time, we're actively involved with the CDC. I remember careful, that's how come we even said that, something, well, we'll carry Todman. Todman got to go on his ticket because we felt that Todman would mash up quickly. But again, Madam Salif have a game plan. But our hope at that time, we're relying on this same Prince Johnson guy. We rely on him to get us to the finish line. But then when we reached the second round, people actually decided to continue with Madam Salif, and we boycotted the election and said, look, we're not going to contest. We gave reasons that we're cheated and so forth, but we're just like we couldn't take it, so we left the election. But then again, you see what's happening now, and I don't know, but Nima County is an important part, and if at all one of these guys land Nima County in the hand with the PYJ and Jeremiah Coon. He's a wealthy man. I mean, no joke about that. He's a businessman. He gets to the Senate, and he's very popular and well known in Nima. You see, and he definitely, if anybody who gets them, I mean, I think they're making taking a big chance for them, And lastly, I don't know the issue about the president not engaging and with Jeremiah Coon. Somebody told me the very day, but I didn't. I said no. I disputed. I said no. The president shook everybody's hand, but then people been saying it, and I thought the president would have be either oversight. They didn't see him a while, but I thought he would have shaken and embrace him. And right now, the president in a situation where he has no choice. Right now, you got to engage everybody. Whether you like the person or not, engage them. Forget about the past and engage them, because you want to be re-elected, and you can have all these crowd coming on Saturday. At the end of the day, were they telling the votes? How are they getting into all these things? Because we saw what happened in 2005. And you know that the reason you followed election 2005 and 11, CDC put the biggest crowd in the country on the float until people are taking their t-shirts and printing it. And at the end of the day, we lost the popular votes, and we lost. But right now, I wish them well, and I pray that the best side will get the best of the whole thing that's happening. But the Liberian people remain supreme, and above all, the people.
Yes. Thank you, Tomali. I just wanted to just respond, and I'm not going to have a final thought. But it almost sounds like the the CDC or President Weah didn't cultivate relationships, and nor did he expand the coalition. That's what I'm hearing. And for some people, it may be like Prince Johnson is saying, "Oh, he didn't speak to me." And I think Yeka said the same thing here, if I'm not mistaken, that the president didn't speak to him either. But in Liberia, it's a serious issue when you don't speak to somebody. So maybe that's why this is coming up. So it sounds like cultivating relationship during the past 5 years is coming to play and expanding the coalition. So, Kef Hassan, you want to give us your final thoughts?
Our father age, it failed us. We are failing our younger age. And by the way we're going, we will continue to fail people. I thought we should be discussing the people of Nimba. I thought when Prince Johnson, with that allegation of pay to play, it should have been a wake-up call for people to say something, and we try to change the way we do business. I will forever salute this president for not doing business as usual. You imagine if Prince Johnson asked for 10, the president that gave it because he won votes, what would people be saying? Chairman Ben, because the reason I call you, because you're chairman of Liberty Party, you've been there in those kind of negotiations. You know the nature of it. When that sanction hit Prince Johnson, well, we read it. Everybody say, "Oh, you remember on this platform, people call for George Manuel Weah to not align himself with Prince Johnson, because if he do that and he gave Prince Johnson that he asked him for, the government will be sanctioned." These are the same people today praising Prince Johnson. Failure. We know, and Dr. Richardson, you follow politics in America. You know, when senators go on CNN and MSNBC or whatever, they're asking them for bills. That's how they take care of the people. That's how senators take care of the people. Senators take care of the people through bills because are part of their job. I'm sitting surprising watching us failing. So when I see the first-time voters, the young people coming out to vote and to rally behind this president, this is the reason. Because they're sitting down, they cannot believe that nothing there for Nimba. All I'm hearing, "Oh, you got to take care of Prince Johnson. You got to give Prince Johnson people their position." Then I ask a question, what about the roads? How the people benefiting the road? He couldn't answer that. What bills you push through? You sign, or you sponsor or you co-sponsor? He cannot answer that. I thought we should be holding our senator to the functionality. I thought that's what we should be holding them to. All I'm hearing, you won't get there nothing, so they will not support you. If you ask me that pay to play, and the president refused to play, I think people should be calling this president a hero. People should be praising this president for refusing to play. We are failing our people by our discussion, because folks, because of their anger, because of certain things they don't have, they tend to switch the discussion. All this thing we discussed here today, what in there for the people of Nimba? For the people of Nimba, that Prince Johnson did. What Prince Johnson said on this platform, that he worked for 18 years. When I push him, he said, oh, I said somebody in Greece, in Turkey, with 1,000 of people there. We still doing business the same way. We still doing business but by giving somebody what they want before they vote for you. I want to hear, oh, no road to Nimba. That's why I'm not. No, I want job for this. I want this job. I want that job. Those things he asking for is for individual. The 7.5 million he's talking about, it's not 7.5. The money is there for the people of Nimba. It will be given to the people of Nimba. So the money is there. It's going to be in the budget to give to the people of Nimba. So that's not. But most of it is job. I want it for individual. What about the people of Nimba? Are we missing something? Why can't a senator cannot tell you what bill he sponsor or co-sponsor for his people? I keep using this thing, Joe Marshall of West Virginia. This man refused to sign to a bill from the White House because he said nothing there for his people. The mining company in West Virginia. That's the debate. When I go sit down this evening, that's what I'm going to hear. Imagine senator in America talking about, oh, you give my people their minister position. You get them there. So my own account. No. We are failing our people. Folks who twisted Dr. Richardson, and you know better, Dr. Richardson. You know how it works, Dr. Richardson. We need to change this way of doing stuff. Go in the corner, get somebody something, you vote for me. And this president refused to play that game. I think everybody on this panel should praise this president. If you don't praise this president, you do have a motive. But we need to praise this president for not playing because he don't want to pay. He will not pay to play. He will not. Thank you.
You muted. You muted.
Thank you, Kev. Honorable Fagon, please do your afterthoughts, please.
Is this our closing or our afterthought?
This is actually include your afterthoughts in the closing. It's actually a closing because of time. It's 6:19 right now. We want to be out of here before at least 7 o'clock.
Also, nobody will come to do closing because everybody will get an afterthought.
Yes, nobody coming to do closing again.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, let me say this. And I know President Johnson, Senator Prince Johnson will not take it laying down. But I am one person that will not praise this president for pay to play. And the reason is simple. You signed an agreement. And in the agreement, it was stated that you would do X, Y, Z. I want the Americans to re-examine their pay to play now. Because this party go into agreement with another party, right? And according to Prince Johnson, you say you will do this, you do that's pay to play. But equally so, you can look at it the other way. It didn't happen. This president will not agree to pay to play. Then why the president running behind the people? Wasn't the president we are the same for Prince Johnson and Jeremiah Kuhn? Josh Weah is in for pay to play. He sent for them. The mistake he made was having Eugene Angbe Maxwell Kimia, Jefferson Camo, and them in the room. Then he left from there. The poor senator went to her house. He sent people behind the man. Y'all like Grandpa, let me ask you. Who running behind who for pay to play? Senator Johnson or George Weah? George Weah is the one chasing Senator Johnson. He sent for Senator Johnson and Jeremiah Kuhn. They told him no. He sent people behind the people. Twe and Bagay had a meeting with the man at Farmington. The man said no. The man went back to Nimba. You sent Eugene Angbe behind the man. The man said no. Who running behind who? The evidence is for everybody to see. So is that President Weah who said we must clap for him because you don't want pay to play? You don't want pay to play? Sit down. Leave the man alone. Why are you running behind the man? So, on the issue of the senator's playbook, Comrade Ben, I'm not hoping. The reason why I'm not hoping, all the other counties, forget about them. Let's just go to the southeast. Me, I deal with facts. In River G, the two senators there, Commander Wissa is from the UP. Jonathan Sebwe is independent. No matter what you do, you cannot defeat them in River G. Let me repeat. They are both senators elected by the people. The people listen to them. I am not hoping. Jonathan Sebwe, independent. Commander Wissa, United Party. River G is not in the president's corner. Let's go to River Cess. Francis Pay, National Democratic Congress. He's not from the CDC. He's a senator. Wellington G. Von Smith is an independent. That's River Cess. CDC senators not there. Number 2, Senator Playbook. I didn't want to Southeast, so I'm giving you fact. I'm not hoping. Let's go to Grand G there. Zopeno is an independent. Not because he say John CDC. He's an independent. Let's go, and the other guy now is the CDC man. But even Marshall Dennis, I hear that he cutting care small. Let's go to Grand Coup. Grand Coup has Nimene Patikwa. He's an independent. Then you can take Abochie. That's Senator Nanimio. Let's go to Maryland. Blair Brown, independent. James Barney, MPP. Ben, am I hoping that is Southeast? The place that Joe Weah sort of hold, that the senators in there get it. And he got nothing there. So you want to go now to Bomi, Bapolu, Cape Mount, he not got nothing there. No senator there for him. Go to Bom, no senator there for him. Ben, I'm going to continue. I'm not hoping. When I tell you the senators playbook, it means people elect these senators, they love them. And that was where we made our mistake. Can you imagine? The senators playbook. And if these people, all of them, are from the opposition, then you are a student of politics. You are a whole chairman. What can Joe Weah do now? It's the senators playbook. The game is over. They will play him. He has been defeated. And it's a first round victory for him. He got no chance. It's from the senators playbook. And if he challenge it, then look at Senator Prince Johnson and Jeremiah Kuhn. That's Nimba. Look at Henry Topper and Prince Moyipong. That means that Johnny people a few days from Lofa. Lofa Pa is gone. So if we come down now to Monserrato with DeLong, Magibi, why get him up in there flat? Who the two senators in there? PUP, Nugwe and Tanapole. CDC got senator in there. Ben, and I hope I'm giving you facts versus the fiction. This game is over. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right. So you see, I interrupt you. So let me. Hey, see, I'm warning you here, fans. I interrupt you. I interrupt you. I listen to your analogy. I listen to your analogy at all. Right?
I interrupted you.
I listen to your analogy at all. So just keep in mind. But let me say this. In all fairness. Interesting discussion today, by the way, from Senator Prince Johnson. Interesting discussion. And there are a few predictions that I have in my mind. It's my thoughts, it's my opinions. I'm responsible for them. One, and I will start with my brother Fagon. And let me tell you, when I said all of what you are talking about is based on hope, and hope is not a strategy. The first thing is that your Senator's Playbook analogy is a little flawed, because during Liberian elections, general elections, look at the history. The ratio of senators returning is at a minute percentage, very small. All of our general elections we have held, a maximum of only 2 senators have returned. 2014, Joel Howard Taylor, Prince Johnson. 20, I'm trying to remember who, again, Prince Johnson, I believe. And no, Prince Johnson running in 2023. So it was a very small group of people that came back. And let me tell you the reason why I say this. The strategy to defeat, because if we are going by your analogy, then George, then guess what? Like you said, then there's no second round. Then the incumbent is defeated in the second round. But what is the general perception out there? Is that there will be a second round. The question is, what amalgamation and coalition that is going to be put together to face the incumbent? Fagon, you must be dreaming to believe that George Weah is not going to a second round. You must be. It is just a reality. The man is the incumbent. He has the resources. Yes, his first term has been challenging. Some of the reasons which Senator Johnson is talking here tonight, he should have cultivated these relationships. He should have been able to strategically position himself in a way that MDR would not be doing what they're doing right now. But having said that, we are where we are. Let me tell you what I think is going to happen. The chances of Jeremiah Kun running for president is probably 50-50. If Jeremiah Kun doesn't get picked by Joseph Yuma Boakai, listen to my prediction, and this is my prediction. I own it. If he does not get picked by Joseph Yuma Boakai, Jeremiah Kun will run for president of Liberia. Remember this thing I'm saying today. He will run for president. And when he runs for president, he will show a good show. He will put up a good show because of Nimba, because of Prince Johnson. Prince Johnson will be running for senator, right? The CDC will have to figure out a strategy now without Nimba for the first round, because they always have been under the illusion or under the thought process that they had MDR. So their first round strategy included MDR. Without NDR, 2 things they have to do. They have to do what the Unity Party did in 2011. They have to go into Nimba and fight and hope to get what they can get out of Nimba. With Jeremiah Kun running for president, not a lot you will get out of Nimba any freaking way. Both they made the ruling party and the major opposition's party. So what I'm trying to say here is this notion that all of these senators, that's why I said it is based on hope. And hope is not a strategy. It is based on hope that, Bani, Kun, all of them will sit down in one room and sing Kumbaya. We know that is not likely to happen. All of the consultation I see Jeremiah Kun doing, he's doing the right things. But again, like I said, this is my prediction. If Jeremiah Kuhn doesn't get picked by Vice President Joseph Yuma Boakai, read my lips, he will be on the ballot as president of Liberia.
There you have it.
And I stand by that. To end, you know, I need to say this. And like I said, it was a great conversation. Dr. Richardson, by the way, excellent moderation. Excellent. Let me give you your flowers while I look at you. Excellent moderation. You managed this show exceptional today. So let me thank you for that. But let me say this. You know, there was a little firestorm over the last couple of weeks about a picture with me and President George Weah. I want to say this to the naysayers, the supporters, to all of them out there. You know, Benjamin Sanvi is a name that people love to hate. And I've relished that. I've been in politics since I was 17 years old. I have been a card-holding member of only one political party, and that is the Liberty Party. Contrary to what people think, some of your political leaders have been card-holding members of multiple political parties. But that's not the issue. When the president of Liberia, who, by the way, happens to be my friend and my big brother, and I owe no apologies for that, when he picks up the phone and calls me and say, you know, I need to talk to you, oh, you better be sure I'm going there. Because I am a stakeholder in our politics. I know a lot of y'all ain't let to hear it, but I will say it to y'all. I had a long conversation with President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. You know the reason I didn't post a picture with her? I had a 2-hour lunch with her. By the way, we ate nice potato greens. And I was thinking about saying to her, we're eating that potato green. We had over lunch. Nice potato green, Ellen. I mean, the woman cook is exceptional with country rice. You know the reason me and Ellen took a picture? Because she was wearing her yard gown. That's how comfortable leaders are with me. Because they listen to my counsel. I may be 41 years old. But guess what? I have some experience in this game. So I see a lot of people having funky fever. When I make decisions, I don't make them in the back. My decisions are like pregnancy. It comes in the front. It don't go in the back. So chill. This is the election season. You will see, and if I go back to Liberia in March for voter registration, if President Weah called me, you will see me with him again. The reason you didn't see me with Mr. Cummings, his schedule didn't permit. VP Boyka was out of the country. Again, I'm a young man who have washed my hand well, so I eat with kings. So I'm sending this message out there to all of y'all. Chill. Don't have funky fever. This is the political season, like my brother Fagon can say. A lot is going to happen. But I just thought that I say this today to, you know, to rattle them a little bit. Y'all go do more posts. I don't mind. I love it because at the end of the day, this is politics. And politics is a game where you rub shoulders. Take it or leave it. Great show, Dr. Richardson. Amazing show. Fagon, I will call you. We need to talk about this Senator playbook, and I'm going to tell you how I will decipher if you got to do it. You're not coming back. Dr. Richardson, you give me a chance to come out.
No, nobody's coming back. We actually... Look.
We got closing. We got closing.
No, we didn't closing. We didn't closing. We didn't closing. You won't come back.
Tomorrow, please write that down. You can bring it up.
Exactly. Take it out, Dr. Richardson.
Just actually make an announcement. Tomorrow, we're going to be having the former Truth and Reconciliation Commission Chairman, Councillor Jeroen Verdier, on the show tomorrow. So again, please welcome all of your friends and share this show. You can also be here tomorrow for us to have another spirited conversation about Liberia. He is going to be discussing national issues, the trending issues that are going on in the country. This is what Councillor Verdier will be discussing. So I will see you here tomorrow. I want to say any other announcements? We are on.
Yeah, Dr. Francis, you told me
Somebody say announcement.
Yeah, I want to just send out, first of all, man, come on, man. Let me do something. My niece, Buddy Emily, we are in Trenton. She took a surgery, and I wish her well. And I wish her well, and I pray for speedy recovery for my niece from Bali. You know, I love you, and I wish you the best. And I know you'll recover. I will see you on the weekend. Also, our former national team player, Baba Gay, He turned 75 yesterday. He's in France enjoying his birthday. One of our former national captain for Lone Star and Barrow. For his son, Dr. Artemus Gay. Happy birthday to our senior legend, Baba Gay. And lastly, one of our ardent follower, Musa Keita of Minnesota.
Oh, yeah, happy birthday to Musa. Yes.
Musa, so I want to say that to you guys. Thanks, man. Dr. Reese, you did the best, man. I'll copy your playbook.
Thank you. We got to talk about what you did today. What your magic?
Can I say happy birthday to my small sister, Sharon Stummlefield? She listens to us periodically, but if you hear her name and hear me calling her name, please let her know happy birthday, sister, and have a wonderful, wonderful next birthday in many years to come. So guys, it's 6:37. Let's go. We will see everybody tomorrow.
Thank you for fooling me. Thank you for fooling me.
Thank you.
Don't mind, do your closing and your thoughts. I heard her.
No, she said, okay, do your thoughts.
Man, see you, man. Baron, why Baron? Baron, it's good to see you, man.
But you know I was coming back to pack you.
I know. That's why I said I am visiting tomorrow.
See you guys, man.
Well, that's how I love to come to the end of the program. Spoon Talk. The invitation is yours to join us tomorrow by God's grace, when our panelists will be here for another fresh edition of the program Spoon Talk, Liberia's premium broadcast and platform. Well, my name is Baron Brown, and do have a God bless day. James, thank you. Good night. Bye-bye.